The Duel at Daytona. The only event of its kind. Back-to-back battles could determine the fate of the great American race. The front row is locked. Now the push for position is all that's in focus. Let's switch it up. The duel within the duel. 4 drivers. 2 spots left. 1 shot. It's all on the line for a chance to compete for the crown jewel. Let the battles begin. Race day starts now.
Are you excited? I am excited. Once again, it is a Hendrick Motorsports front row in the Great American Race. The 9th time the team has accomplished the feat. But what about the rest of the field? What about that guy right there, 7-time champ Jimmy Johnson? He's won the 500 twice in his Hall of Fame career. Where's he going to line up in the 500 miles? And, of course, you got the reigning champ, Joey Logano. Can he kickstart the 2023 season with a win in the biggest race of the year? We've got the biggest stars, the biggest weekend in NASCAR. It is so big, it takes 2 races to get ready for 500 miles. And we're here to do just that. As we say, welcome to Race Day, presented by Toyota. The start of the NASCAR season. Look at that. Out there at Daytona, it always feels like the very first day of school. And as we get set to kick off the 75th season of NASCAR, that is exactly how it feels here tonight. Hi, everyone. I'm Shannon Spake. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. I'm here with 2 guys who know what the nerves and excitement of this race and this night feel like. Of course, Daytona 500 champs. Jamie McMurray won it in 2010. Trevor Bayne the next season in 2011. All right, I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to ask them a question that I know already what Jamie's going to say, but I'm going to say it anyways. If you could sum this night up in 1 word, Jamie Mack, what would it be?
Shannon, you just spent the last 90 seconds explaining how big this race is.
It takes 2 days.
Two races to get it figured out. I don't think you can explain it in just 1 word.
Yeah.
It is a huge race. And tonight is really all about these guys getting back in a groove. It's the only time this weekend, even though we're going to have some practice tomorrow and on Saturday, it's the only time that the drivers really get a chance to see what their car will do in the draft with enough cars out there, get to make a green flag pit stop. So a little bit of a rehearsal, even for someone like Joey Logano that's a champ, you got to get back in that routine.
Yeah, and even though they've been to the racetrack already at the Clash, that was just a warm-up. I mean, when you walk into the garage at Daytona, it feels different. So I'm going to try my best with 1 word here. I don't think it does it, but anticipation for me is kind of that word.
Anxiety. How's
anxiety,
that? Anxiety.
Yeah. We'll just go with the A.
The job is yours. He knows how to follow directions.
I was sticking to the script here.
You don't.
It's because he's scared of you, I think.
We're down a man here in the studio. That's, of course, Larry Mack is in his element in the garage at Daytona. But, of course, it's not a show without you, Larry Mack. So there he is, America's crew chief, 2-time Daytona 500 winner. Larry, tell me what it's like right now, an hour before the duel gets underway.
Well, you said it, the first day of school, but guess what? We got an exam the very first Clash because, like Jamie said, no practice. The only laps that's been turned was qualifying last night. Think about it. Not only do we have some drivers trying to make their first Daytona 500, we've got drivers making their very first Cup start. We've had a lot of pit crew changes during the offseason. They're going to make their first pit stop tonight. And as Chris Gabart, who has won this race twice, he said, you know what? Making a green flag pit stop, that can be a little bit tricky here as well. So a lot of unknowns, a lot of anticipation.
Larry looking very fancy down there in the garage. Anticipation. He looks sharp down there in the blue. Last night, speaking of blue, it was qualifying for the 2nd straight season, Hendrick Motorsports. The top 3 fastest cars, of course, those guys right there are going to start on the front row. Alex Bowman has started on the point 3 times in his career at the Daytona 500. I would say that's pretty good. I did hear Kyle Larson say during media day that when you are on that front row, you're taking the green flag at the Daytona 500, sold out crowd. You could just really feel the energy, but they got to get there. And the way they get there is getting through the duel.
That's
so
exactly
what's their approach?
Well, if I'm on the front row, after a few laps, if things are calm, maybe I stay up there. As soon as somebody gets to my outside, if I'm Alex Bowman, Kyle Larson, I'm out of there. I mean, you know that you're starting on the front row. So why not take your time? figure out what your car's got, but not put it in jeopardy so that you know you can stay there for the big race.
Yeah, I mean, the one advantage that these two guys have is that they were on the front row last year, and we saw that they did race. And if you're someone like Alex Bowman, you need to race and see what your car is going to do. If you look back, I mean, it's the 6th straight time he's been on the front row, but the results just haven't shown. If you look right there, 11th best in 2019, that they've been able to get out of this incredible qualifying. And we heard Jeff Gordon say it during qualifying yesterday that they've worked more on race trim or handling than necessarily having speed. They were a little surprised by the speed, and the 48 car's got some work to do there.
That is the case, right? We've seen the Hendrick Motorsports cars start up front. It seems to be the Joe Gibbs racing cars always seem to get up front towards the end. Of course, it's only been 2 seasons since 7-time champ Jimmie Johnson has competed in NASCAR. It feels like so much longer. He is back. He's officially locked himself into the field last night in qualifying. And of course, having Jimmie in the field is a really big deal, and one that pro surfer Kelly Slater breaks down in only the way he can.
Jimmie Johnson, and he's going to win his 13th start. Johnson wins.
History, boys. No one ever.
Jimmie Johnson has tied 2 of the immortals in our sport.
Jimmie Johnson as he says goodbye.
Love you guys. Thank you guys so damn much.
When it seems like the end, sometimes it's just the beginning. The ocean is complex. Fury above, calm below. The greatest driver of all time, the same, but different. A calm exterior, peaceful, confident, but below the surface, a fierce competitor. His exit from the sport, planned and executed, yet felt unfinished.
Where all the good people go.
Returning now, but with a different goal. To race, yes, but also to grow. His new purpose, shaping the next generation of racers on a team of his own. But beware of the dead calm. A legend is a legend for a reason. It just takes one rogue wave to awaken the greatness.
Where all the good people go.
To all the IndyCar fans, he's ours. We're taking him back. He's back in the garage with us. But I did think it was interesting that he said that last night when he made the lap that he felt like something was wrong with the car throughout that. I mean, what is the uphill climb for him, and what's his agenda in the races?
Well, it probably did feel a lot different. He had a roof over his head.
Yeah,
so
yeah, no
that's going to make it feel a little bit slower, Jimmie. But, you know, I mean, obviously, other than the number being backwards here, it's a totally new team for him. And he's got to figure out this owner role, driver role, but this isn't Hendrick Motorsports. This is a building process that he's going to be partaking in. But to be honest, Jamie, we used to go on those bike rides with him when we were training, when we were still driving, and Jimmie's humility always caught me off guard. I mean, this guy, you would almost think he lucked into 7 championships,
Yeah.
but you can't luck into that many championships, that many Daytona 500 wins, so we know he's got a lot of talent up his sleeve.
Yeah, and I don't know about for you guys, but to me, the highlight of qualifying last night was seeing the excitement that Jimmie Johnson's won 83 races.
Yeah.
He's won 7 championships. He's won 2 Daytona 500s, and he was so nervous just trying to make this Daytona 500. You asked about what this means at the beginning, how big this race is. I think you see that right there, how excited he was to be able to be locked in.
The superlative for Jimmie Johnson is nicest guy in the NASCAR garage, regardless of how much success he has. Jimmie, we're so happy to have you back. He's, of course, going to start 12th in duel number 1 tonight. He said this race is all about education and helping to grow that race team. So as far as the rest of the duel race, here's what it looks like. Take a look at this. We got the reigning champ, Joey Logano, in this one.
Yeah, and if you look at the front row, I mean, you got all Hendrick Motorsports on the front row, and then the second row, we talk about handling being important, Trevor, with Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, Team Penske. You know they're going to be good.
Yeah, you know, a lot of times you see the duels kind of out of balance. You see one that looks a little wild, one that looks more calm, and both of these races look great tonight, so I'm excited to watch this first one, get it underway.
It is going to be fun to see them out there for 150 miles. So we were deeply saddened to learn that Tim McCarver died today, a catcher with the St. Louis Cardinals when they won 2 World Series in the majors for 21 years. And of course, for those of us at Fox Sports, he was a colleague and a friend. As a broadcaster, he was the best, a multiple Emmy Award winner. Tim partnered with Joe Buck on the first 18 years of baseball on Fox and taught so many of us and so many millions of the viewers the inner workings of baseball. He worked a total of 24 World Series, 18 of them on Fox. And of course, Tim McCarver worked in broadcasting. He was honored by the Baseball Hall of Fame for broadcasting excellence. Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred called him one of the most influential voices in our game. And Tim once said, one of the hard things about television is staying contemporary and keeping it simple for the viewers. He did all that and so much more. Our condolences go out to his family and friends. Tim McCarver was 81. I've been waiting a long time to say welcome back to race day, and I just got to say it. So Noah Gragson with his new full-time ride at Legacy Motor Club. You like that, Jamie? That's funny. We'll be squaring up with 39 other drivers this Sunday for a shot at the biggest prize in racing. Our own two-time Daytona 500 winner, Michael Waltrip, had a few words on savoring success in Daytona. Here's Squaring Up, sponsored by Wendy's.
The question is, where's the beef? Well, I think I found the beef. Hey, Noah, buddy.
Hey, what's up, Michael?
Mind if I join you?
I guess so. Sit down.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. We're here in Daytona. It doesn't get much better.
Best time of the year. I love Daytona. Winning that race, the smell of victory, savoring what it feels like, everything that goes into success in Daytona. This is a great time.
Are you talking about that burger, or are you talking about the race?
Ooh, I think I'm talking about both.
That's great, but there's more than just a trophy. You can scan the square and win prizes from at the racetrack or at home.
Wow.
And you can win some cool Wendy's gear. Winning at Daytona is just as incredible as a Dave single.
Wow, so you're saying I scan the square and maybe I become a three-time winner of the Daytona 500?
I don't think so about that, but you can definitely get some cool Wendy's gear.
I'll eat that.
Yeah, I got a feeling that's not the last time we're going to see those two guys together having fun this season. Speaking of fun, every year before we kick things off, we all gather the drivers for a photo shoot. It's what we at Fox Sports call the hanger shoot. It's so much fun, and we love to share the behind-the-scenes moments with all of the fans.
Are we hot? We're hot. Michael, we're hot.
It's showtime. NASCAR on Fox is back. And what better way to kick off the season than with the 23rd annual hanger shoot?
Another year, another Fox hanger shoot. This place is wild.
All right, here we go. Ready for business.
During the course of 5 days, our crew members created 6 amazing sets with 11 cameras, miles of cable, and thousands of amps of power and lights to create this captivating, immersive experience.
They call this the light room. Let's go. Straight up maze with smoke.
Woo! Look at that guy.
Showcasing NASCAR's biggest stars is one of the most exciting times of the year, and they loved every minute of it.
Hemrick, what do you got to say to the people?
New year, less hair, ready to rock.
When I get one of these this year, record that.
I just griddled.
When you bring together creativity, talent, and personality, you get one heck of a show.
You like that, huh, Jamie?
Listen, I like how everyone's so relaxed when they're there. And the thing that sticks out to me when I see that is, do you remember the mirrored room they had 2 years ago?
Yeah, I do.
Couldn't find the walls.
Yeah,
Great time.
The gritty, I think it is. And the star of the show.
The gritty. That's a griddle.
Yeah, the star of the show, we didn't get to see her. It's Katie Weigel, one of our producers. She gets everybody amped. It's so fun. She's the best. All right, so back to tonight's races, because for 4 drivers, there's more anxiety and excitement, and that's because there's just 2 spots remaining in the big race. And so 2 of these guys, I'm not a mathematician, but 2 and 4, 2 are going to go home. You got these guys right here. Who's under the most pressure, Jamie?
Well, I don't know. I mean, they're all under a lot of pressure.
Who's under the most pressure to make the race?
When I look at this, I just think you have to go with experience. And Zane Smith doesn't have a lot of Cup experience, but Truck Champion has good experience. And then Austin Hill was able to win on a super speedway last year in the Xfinity Series. So I like those 2 guys matched up.
Yeah, I can't tell you enough how much pressure these these guys feel. I was in this situation in the 21 car one time, and I never wanted to be there again because your sponsors are there. They're ready for the Daytona 500, not just the duels. So you got to make it in the big race. And to me, there's nothing like these duels for guys that have to make it in.
Yeah, you don't want to be one of those guys packing up and having to walk back to the hauler and see your team. Travis Pastrana might be feeling the pressure, and that's because he says he's footing the bill personally for this race. But the 11-time X Game gold medalist has never been one to shy away from an intimidating situation. It's so excited to see this guy racing in the Daytona 500. Larry, Travis, what's up, guys?
Travis, I'm telling you, I had you on my radio show about 3 months ago when I said, is there anything left on your bucket list? You said, yes, make the Daytona 500. You're in it. You're in the Daytona 500.
Absolutely unbelievable. Just I can't say enough about just the sponsors and the team, and the car we had last night was awesome, and now we can just focus on doing the best we can tonight, learning as much as we can, and we're going to be racing the Daytona 500.
No matter what happens tonight. Now, you're in Duel 2. You just came off the track because you're going to be in the truck race tomorrow night on FS1. You probably are going to feel like you're drinking through a fire hose tonight from lap 1.
Man, it has been absolutely amazing. Just the entire experience is wild. You know, we've been here in what used to be the Nationwide Series, but there's nothing like the preparation here for the 500. And to be back with Nice Motorsports as well for the Truck Series, I had a tire go down going into one and full just slide and drift. I'm like, oh no, please don't put anything in the wall. And but it's been fun and got a little bit of experience there coming to the pits. A lot of new experiences for me, but you know, this 2311 team, Denny and everybody have really taken me under their wing. The Black Rifle Crew and Dixon Flannels, they're just coming out here from the dirt tracks all the way through. Man, we're here to have a good time.
Well, when I looked at the lineup, you do have a teammate starting right in front of you. Tyler Reddick, I see him over there. Is that kind of the game plan? Try to just stay with Tyler, get some laps logged?
You know, Kurt Busch had a long talk with me last night as well. Tony Stewart's been really helpful too. Everybody's gone really out of their way, you know, in all the different teams. But definitely sitting down with Toyota crew and sitting down with Coach, and he said, look, don't take any extra chances, but do the most that you can to learn from every move that's been made in front of you, and do your best to stay on and hang on that draft.
Shannon, I've been coming here for a long time. I've seen drivers that won the 500 that's not been this excited.
I was just going to say that. Listen, if he's overwhelmed at all, he's not showing it.
No, and he always is like that. Yeah. He's always high energy. I've never met anybody like Travis Pastrana, if I can get his name out of him. You know, back in 2010, I got to go see him jump a rally car across the ocean onto a barge. Blake Bechtel and I went out there to try to recruit him to come drive some NASCAR races with us, and we talked him into it. It took a couple years, and I got to be his teammate in 2012, and then again at Roush Fenway in 2013. But Travis, even though he's high energy, he also can focus in, and I can see him in those meetings now, from what I saw, just really soaking up everything that Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, Kurt Busch, what they have to say. So once he gets that helmet on, that energy does calm down and he can focus in.
Yeah, and there's just so much for him to learn. I feel like we focus more on like the drafting and being on the track, but one of the things that bites a lot of guys that come over to the Cup Series or NASCAR in general is just doing something simple like a green flag pit stop. Simple things like getting in your pit stall, getting stopped. There's a lot more to that. We take for granted that guys do that every single weekend, but little things like that are the things that you can't teach, that hopefully he'll be able to learn tonight and not make those mistakes on Sunday.
Certainly going to be a lot for him. And he's got Kurt Busch, as he mentioned, and of course he's got Denny Hamlin. Still to come on race day, two-time Daytona 500 winner Michael Waltrip is going to be back. He's going to, we never know. I mean, listen, you never know what we're going to see with Michael, so just stick around because he will be here with all of his antics. There they are, lined up on the grid. Not the gritty, it's the grid, not the gritty. I mean, if they were doing the gritty, then it would be kind of weird.
This is the gritty.
We'll be right back.
Daytona 500 winner, come on.
It feels surreal.
The Daytona 500! Yes!
You can't take it back. You can't take the ring back. You can't take the trophy back. They're mine.
Daytona 500, guys! Yeah!
Boy, I rode that high that day, and it was so much fun.
Don't think that it can happen for so long, and then it happens.
Hell of a job there, driver.
It was like tunnel vision to the checkered flag.
We're badasses, man.
is the closest thing to winning a championship.
Hell of a job, buddy. Hell of a job.
And it's like, is this a dream? Wake me up.
Flashbulbs and everything were going off, and it's a surreal moment.
There's your word, Jamie. Surreal. Surreal. Excitement is another one. Welcome back to Race Day, presented by Toyota. You failed that test when I asked you.
I don't think I've ever used surreal in my life.
Never. It is a surreal evening in Daytona right now as we're getting ready for cars to hit the track. It's time now for the Toyota team update. Take a look. This is where your Toyota drivers are starting. Bubba Wallace in duel number 1 with Ty Gibbs and Christopher Bell. And then moving on along, you got the 3-time Daytona 500 champ Denny Hamlin and his new driver at 2311, Tyler Reddick. And speaking of Reddick, let's go out to Michael Waltrip, who's in the garage with Reddick. And they're not alone. They're with NHRA drivers, 3-time world champ Ron Capps and 4-time champion Steve Torrence.
Thanks, Shannon. I'm down here in the garage. I got a couple of NHRA champions with me. Tyler Reddick here with the Monster Energy colors. Guys, first trip to Daytona. Tell me what you're thinking.
This is enormous. I've been around Daytona, but never inside the track. And Michael, I'm still in awe. This is an amazing place. Now I get it. Now I get all the hoopla.
It takes my breath every time I come here. Steve, what do you think? Steve Torrence, 4-time NHRA champion.
The magnitude of just everything here, the fans, the haulers, the garage, everything, it's so big and just intense. But like Cap said, I mean, it's something you just got to be here to experience it.
Tyler, I drove a top alcohol dragster. I ran 201 miles an hour. My reaction time, 3.5 seconds. When the light went green, I'm like, all right, I can go now, but I'm not sure I want to. How are you feeling tonight lining up for these duel?
Man, really excited, honestly. It's really cool to have these guys here hanging out. I'm really excited and working on hopefully getting out to see them race soon. But yeah, just, I got one lap in the Monster Energy Toyota Camry TRD, and yeah, we're going to figure out a lot here in a little bit when we get in duel number 2.
Tell the boys the strategy. What's going to happen when they throw the green flag in that 45 car?
Well, I think for me is just kind of figure out how I'm going to, get understanded and acclimated to this Toyota Camry. I don't have any laps in the draft in this car on Daytona, so just going to be trying to learn as quickly as I can.
Yeah, lots of energy, lots of excitement, a lot of drama coming ahead. Shannon, take it away.
Thanks, Michael. That's one guy and one team and new faces and new places that I'm really looking forward to seeing how he does.
I think if you look at any of the people that change teams or new faces, Tyler Reddick made the best move. Mm-hmm. They won 4 races at RCR last year. He won 3. But I think him going over to 2311, to me, of all the moving we saw, he came out on top.
I agree. And he's got the best guys around him. And I feel like last season we said so many times, once he breaks through, it's game on. And that's exactly what we saw from him.
Yeah, Tyler Reddick, to me, is very calculated. He doesn't have these big, high emotions. And I think that makes him a better race car driver. When we saw him switch teams after winning his first Xfinity championship and then going back that up at another team. That's a statement. We've seen people win back-to-back, but not 2 different teams. And I think he carries that information, that knowledge of doing that in the past and being successful, and carries that right into this and goes over to 2311 without missing a beat.
That's the guy I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm looking forward to seeing this as well. The next 3 days, jam-packed as we kick off the 75th season of NASCAR. Of course, tomorrow we have the Craftsman Truck Series hitting the high banks of Daytona. On Saturday, it's a full day, ladies and gentlemen. We've got practices, the ARCA race, and of course the first Xfinity Series race of the year. And of course, on Sunday, the 65th running of the Great American Race, the Daytona 500. Coverage starts 11 a.m. on FS1, and then you could switch it over to Fox, where we'll be there through the checkered flag. It's always a great day, and there they are, the fans. The most popular driver. Let's follow him. You think how many autographs a day do you think Chase Elliott signed?
How many Sharpies a day is he going through?
Yeah, a lot. There's a past winner of the Daytona 500, your buddy, right, Trevor?
That's my buddy, 10 years apart, won 2021.
Yeah, congratulations to that guy. We'll see how he does today. We'll be right back.
And the 64th Daytona 500 is underway.
I'm going to settle in and ride
log some laps. Austin Cindric and Bubba Wallace out front. 3 miles to go in the Daytona 500. Now it's time to get aggressive. Cindric is going to bring them to the line way up high to block Ryan Blaney, and at the line, Cindric beats Bubba Wallace by half a car length.
Holy crap! Yes!
Holy cow's right, kid. You just won the biggest race of your life. This race never disappoints.
No, it does not.
Never, ever, ever disappoints. And this is pretty good company to keep. 9 drivers whose first career win came in the Daytona 500. 9 drivers. Trevor Bayne, you are on that list, as well as the guy who's right now hanging out with Larry Mack.
Shannon, I'm here with Austin Cindric, who won the Great American Race a year ago. And Austin, how cool is it to walk in here as the defending Daytona 500 champion? And what's even cooler, there's a documentary that's going to tell the whole story.
Yes, sir. No, you know just as much as anybody how special this place is. And Daytona's never meant more to me than what it does right now. And obviously have the opportunity to come back and try and defend it. Discount Tire, obviously a big partner of ours, the Team Penske, has put together a 3-part documentary basically talking about me and following me through the offseason, things that it took last year, what it takes this year, following up with Jeremy Bollins, everybody on the team leadership, what it takes. So the first 2 episodes are out. Final episode comes out Saturday at noon, discounttire.com/defending Daytona. It's been a lot of fun to kind of look back at that, get me fired up for this year.
I can't wait to see it. So you're in Duel 2, you're starting on the 2nd row. All your teammates are in Duel 1. How are you going to handle that one?
Well, honestly, I haven't really had teammates till last year, so I guess it's back to my Xfinity days a little bit. But otherwise, still got a lot of fast forwards in our duel with Almirola, Briscoe, and a few others. So I think we should be able to work well. As you know, duels are about a lot more about the strategy as far as when you pit, who can get out front, and obviously trying to figure out what your race car is like for the big show on Sunday.
Well, Shannon, this 2 car has what everybody wants when you come to Daytona, and that's speed. A win a year ago, 3rd in the August race.
Throwing the stats, even when he's not in studio, the McNuggets are plenty. We talked about him winning his very first race in the Daytona 500. Obviously, I mentioned that your name was on that list as well. I'm not going to ask you to say just one word, but what is that like to finish first in the Daytona 500 in your very first win?
Well, it's life-changing. I mean, I'm probably here today. They invited me here because of that one win, so it'll carry you a lifetime.
But here's the thing, though. Like, for me, winning at Daytona made me appreciate that race even more because you then saw the magnitude of it, how big it was. They say life-changing, but just like you introduced me as a Daytona 500 champion, every single show we do, people that aren't casual race fans, they recognize that, and I think, to me, it makes it even more important.
And I don't remember anything really about Victory Lane. Like, I see pictures, and I don't remember the blur that happened. The first moment I remember was being on NASCAR's plane, flying to our media tour, because you go all over the country, and seeing the Daytona 500 ring on my hand and thinking, man, that's the same ring. Yeah, that's right. It's the same thing that Larry Mack's wearing on these shows. Dylan Hart had on his hand. It's just a cool moment.
All right, let's talk about some of the specific drivers, and at that Team Penske, you got the reigning champ, Joey Logano. What are your expectations for him? I mean, we know he's won this race before, and we know that kicking off the season is so vital.
Oh, he'll be a contender tonight. There's no doubt about it. I mean, he almost won his duel race last year, blocking Chris Buescher at the end, ended up getting wrecked. The thing about Joey that makes him so good is that if you show me someone who's had success at this type of racing, a super speedway type racing, I'll show you someone that causes a lot of wrecks because you have to take a lot of chances and be aggressive. Joey Logano will do that, and he is not scared to admit that he does that. He fesses up to everything that he does. But the thing with Team Penske and the whole, all of those guys, they're good teammates until the last lap. And then you've seen so many instances where they've wrecked each other. And even last year, you watched the Daytona 500, Ryan Blaney could have wrecked Austin Cindric, but he chose to back out.
Speaking of Ryan Blaney, he's your guy. What are your expectations?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's flown under the radar as a super speedway racer. 2 of his 7 wins have come at super speedways. And I had to look up the stats of his finishes because he doesn't have that win, but he's got 2 second-place finishes. One more spot, and we'd be calling him 2-time Daytona 500 champion. So he's right there in the hunt every year.
He's my pick to win the race. I know that we're supposed to wait till Sunday. Not tonight. I can stake the claim, and I can say it right now because then
post picks last.
When we're on our conference call, you guys aren't taking him. More to come. Martin Truex Jr. Right there. He drove to Victory Lane at the LA Coliseum. Now, of course, he has his sights set on his first 500 trophy. Josh Sims, chatted with the vet. We'll hear that. Plus, we're also going to have Michael Waltrip's dual grid walk and much, much more. There's the dinger. Full-time, looking forward. I think he could be a contender tonight as well.
That hair never moves.
It's great.
Look
who's talking.
Big dreams, bigger bass on the biggest stage.
Wow!
It's the Bassmaster Elite Series, live on Lake Okeechobee, Saturday and Sunday morning on FS1.
Business is picking up. Look at that. You guys laughing, but that is a beautiful sight right there. Oh, my goodness. All the fans out there at Daytona for the first of the dual races, which will take place starting very soon. Welcome back to Race Day, part of Speed Weeks, presented by Advent Health. And we want to give a big thanks to NASCAR Racing Experience because they took our NASCAR on Fox team this offseason for a ride around the Charlotte Motor Speedway. There's Caitlin right there. Michael Waltrip, Clint Boyer were driving the race cars.
Where are you at?
No, negative.
Hey, I question the thought process of the people we work with when they got in a car with Clint Boyer and Michael. There is no way in hell I'd get in a car with either of those guys.
Yeah, you know Jamie Little wanted to drive that car. You can visit NASCARRacingExperience.com for more information on doing that, or maybe you can drive like Jamie wants to. It's such an incredible month here at Fox Sports. Listen, we've had the NFC Championship game, the Clash at the Coliseum, the Super Bowl, and of course in 3 days it's the 65th running of the Daytona 500. Coverage begins right here on FS1 at 11 a.m. Eastern. Then we're going to swing over to Fox and, of course, the Great American Race. All right, so there are 5 champions competing in Sunday's race who have never, ever, ever won the 500. One of them, you like that, Jamie? He's over here laughing. One of them, Martin Truex Jr., who spoke with Josh Sims about what will be different this year.
Martin Truex comes off turn 4 of a checkered flag.
You used the word mad to describe how you were different this year than you were last year. Why mad?
I was mad about last year. Disappointed would be the better answer. I mean, 4th in the regular season, it's like, how do you miss the playoffs, you know, by 3 points? But we needed to be better. We needed to do a better job. We needed to be more consistent. We needed to, get our short track and road course stuff figured out. And that's all the things we've been working on in the offseason. So the short track thing, check.
Mad, just mad. The full story airs this Sunday before the Daytona 500 on FS1. And Truex Jr. fans are going to have to wait a little bit. He is in Duel 2. He'll roll off 11th. But let's take a look at where your favorite drivers are starting in Duel number 1 because there they are.
Yeah, and I'll take the front row. You got Alex Bowman. We know he's been able to qualify well, but how is he going to race tonight? And beside him is teammate William Byron, who actually won back in July of 2020 at Daytona.
Yeah, to me, this row 4 right here, Jamie, it looks like it could get a little bit wild. Ross Chastain, you never know what he's going to do, even at a track like Martinsville. So what can he do at Daytona? Chris Buescher won a duel last year. I think they're going to the front.
That's illegal now, by the way. You can't do that anymore.
Let's look at row 5. What about this? You got Kevin Harvick making his 22nd Daytona 500 start, starting right next to Ty Gibbs, who's making his first start. Pretty big difference in those two.
A little bit, slightly difference in age. Listen, it's not a race without a grid walk, and it's not a grid walk without Michael Waltrip. So let's go down and say hello to the 2-time Daytona 500 champ. Michael, take it away, my friend.
Hello, everybody. I've hit grid walk gold here. I walked up. I got 7-time Eric Jones, 3 of the best guys on the grid. First of all, I talked to the King earlier, and I said, every time I come through that tunnel, I still get cold chills. He said he does, too. How good does it feel to be in Daytona, Rich?
It always feels good. You know, really, if you look back at my career, Daytona was one that really got me off the ground, so I'm welcome to come back.
What a driver lineup you got here. It's going to be fun to watch Noah, Eric, and Jimmy race your cars.
It's going to be really, really interesting, especially with him. He's never been in one of these cars. Been 2 years since he's been on the track, but the cars, every year they're a little bit different, so everybody's having to learn this race.
Speaking of which, what's this car feel like? I really want to drive one. This is your first try.
It is much different than I remembered. I've not been in the draft yet, so with no practice, this is my practice session. So really, pit road entry, pit road speed, I haven't done that in a long time. An IndyCar had a button I would push and it would hold pit road speed for me. So there's a lot different here, but I hope it all comes back pretty quick.
Well, this might be the coolest car on the grid, Guns N' Roses. Tell me your best Guns N' Roses story.
I went to their show in Charlotte 3 years ago. We had a pretty good time. It was a lot of fun. So
the best you recall?
As best as I recall, it was a good time. Yeah, it was a good time.
Are you ready to go racing with your teammates? How cool is it also? I'm sorry for all the questions, but how cool is it to be the Kings guy?
That's pretty cool. Last 2 years have been really fun. Getting back, winning last year, and hopefully a few more wins this year.
Yeah, well, have a good night tonight. Thank y'all for your time. Appreciate you very much. We'll go see if we can find someone else. Ooh, this is always a good interview. I'm having fun on the grid walk today. AJ Allmendinger. You know, I was looking for some entertainment on the grid, and I said, "Where's AJ?"
Yeah.
You look good too. You look fresh. You ready?
Man, you look really tan. How much golf have you been playing? You definitely haven't been working, have you?
16 days in a row in January.
Yeah. Have you? Did you break par yet?
I didn't break 80 yet, but I'm optimistic. How's your game?
So here's what you got to do, okay? I shoot anywhere from 70 to 74 every round. It's just a matter of what hole I stop on to do that.
I like that plan. You hit the ball really good. Well, tell me a little bit about your car. Let's get serious. Let's turn pages.
Oh, we're getting serious? Okay. Well, we got this bright green Nutri-Nag Solution Chevy. She's at the back right now. Not so good qualifying, but we're going to the front.
I got you. When you're looking at the back of this car and you see Guns N' Roses, think of this. Oh, whoa, whoa, sweet child of mine.
Yeah, don't ever do that again.
Don't do that again. That wasn't very nice. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Hey, buddy. How you doing? Got your Kroger colors? You ready? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to knock you out of the way. How you feeling?
Feel good. We didn't qualify near as good as what we wanted, but you know, it's a dual race. We got a heat race to try and better our start position for Sunday. So I feel really good about it. Our Kroger Continental team's done a really good job of preparing this offseason, and starts tonight.
Have fun. Appreciate you. Shannon, take it away, darling.
Thank you, Michael. I'm going to pick up right where you left off. Sweet child of mine. No singing. These guys are hoping that they're singing the song of victory later today. We got RC, Austin Dillon. We're getting closer and closer to green flag.
Start with a bang. Invite a bunch of friends, then fill the infield like a rock concert. Mix in some star power and turn them loose. A 500-mile all-out fight for NASCAR's biggest prize. That's the Great American Race. The Daytona 500, Sunday at 2:30 Eastern on Fox.
It's NASCAR's opening day.
It's race day for the Great American Race.
This is a race with favorites, long shots, dreamers, all drivers.
This is the biggest day of any of the year of NASCAR.
This is the most unpredictable race, one of the biggest races in the world.
This is the Daytona 500.
No question, one of the most special places in all of motorsports, Daytona International Speedway. It's the site of the dual races tonight. Drivers are excited to get this thing started.
Yeah, Christopher Bell, no one hotter at the end of the year, won 2 walk-off playoff races to make it to the Final Four at Phoenix.
Zane Smith, he's got to be feeling it. His first Daytona 500. Does have that truck win here, though, Shannon, to lean on.
Now, you know that he's nervous heading into tonight. Michael McDowell, a 2021 Daytona 500 winner. Maybe having a baby on the way, Trevor. So got a little more going on than just the dual race tonight here in Daytona.
Barely made it for qualifying. Hopefully she can hold on till Monday.
Who else we got back there? Aww.
Oh, there you go. What about that? Nothing better than Dad having a little bit of a moment. Austin Dillon with his son Ace. They actually have another kid on the way as well. Austin Dillon, former Daytona 500 winner.
What's crazy is that Austin Dillon's been coming to this track since he was that little, and now he's sort of passing it on to
those pictures of Austin Dillon and Ty Dillon in victory lane with Dale Earnhardt are pretty remarkable.
They are, and William Byron, he was one of those fast Hendrick Chevrolets yesterday. I know that he's got to be excited starting up front here, but he's not guaranteed that front row starting spot, Jamie. He's got to race hard here tonight.
Yeah, a good day last night for that guy right there. All right, let's take a look at who we've all got our eyes on tonight. It's time for the Advent Health driver picks. And in rehearsal, I said, let's go to Larry because it's age before beauty. But you are looking so sharp in that suit, Larry. I almost got to say beauty before age. Go ahead and make your pick.
I like to call it experience. You know, this is Alex Bowman's 8th Daytona 500. Here's a McNugget. Never finished in the top 10 in a duel or the 500. Tonight, Shannon, part of that stat changes. Bowman is showman.
I love it. I love it. Who you got?
He went with the front runner there.
Well, I mean, you gotta go where you gotta go. Low-hanging fruit, right?
I'm going with that 3-car, Larry Mack, the one that you should be going with. Austin Dillon has won here in the Daytona 500 before. He's got nowhere to go but up. He's starting 17th, so I like starting in the back in the duels if you've got a decent raceable car because you can go for it. You're not just out there trying to be safe.
You know what happens if you qualify bad? You're like, it'll race good. That's what all of them will say. I talked about this guy a little bit ago, Joey Logano. I just think that he's aggressive. This race tends to lend itself to being aggressive. It'll come down to pitch strategy, but I think Joey Logano will get it done tonight with maybe a little help from Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, I like that. I'm going to go Bubba Wallace. I think he's.
I thought you were taking Blaney.
No, I'm taking Blaney for the 500.
She's going 4 days ahead here.
This is different. I'm going right there. Bubba Wallace. I think we saw glimpses last season. He's super good on these speedways, and I think that this is the night that he goes and gets a duel win. Never won a duel race, finished second, however.
I think you have a really good pick there.
You
Bubba
do?
Wallace. Well, no, I mean, Bubba Wallace is one of the best super speedway drivers in the series right now. Not a lot of wins, only one win at Talladega, but really, really talented.
We need to mark that tape. Are you coming around after how many years of us sitting next to each other?
No,
superlative choice, Shannon. Superlative.
The start of the regular season is upon us. Let's head trackside for opening ceremonies at Daytona.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise as you are able and remove your hats as the Baldwin Middle High School Color Guard presents our nation's colors. Here to offer tonight's invocation, please welcome Chaplain Mac Vendome.
Let us pray. Father God, as we are gathered here tonight to celebrate the drivers as they give everything they've got, may we also celebrate one another and cheer one another as we run our race in life. Give us the courage to not only start, but the courage and endurance to finish. And hear the words, well done, thy good and faithful servant. In Jesus' name I pray. Let all of God's children say, amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome from St. Augustine, Florida, the Tocoy Creek High School Choir.
It's at this moment right now that you realize how long the off-season really is. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we are going racing at Daytona. We're setting the field for the Daytona 500. The duel kicking off next.
Welcome to the Blue-Green Vacations Duel at Daytona. The annual Thursday tilt to set the starting lineup for Sunday's Daytona 500 on Fox. Hi, everybody. Mike Joy, along with three-time duel winner Tony Stewart and three-time duel runner-up Clint Boyer.
That's how you're going to introduce me? That's a bridesmaid 3 times in a row. Thanks, Mike, but I appreciate that. Old Tony, old Tone Loke here, won her 3 times.
Last night, Chevrolet swept the first 3 qualifying positions. Ford had the next 6. The fastest Toyota was 11th. The rest of them were further back. So How do the manufacturers stack up for tonight, Clint?
Well, these duels always seem to come down to that war. Who manufactures a better strategy than the next guy? You got 10 Chevrolets, 7 Fords, and only 3 Toyotas. How's that little guy, how's a Toyota going to get in the mix and beat these guys? That's where the action's out on these duels, in my opinion.
Now, within those manufacturer groups, there are drivers with very different agendas.
Yeah, I think 3 different sets, in my opinion, with Kyle Larson and Alex Bowman occupying that front row. They have nothing to gain and everything to lose in these qualifiers. So run just long enough to understand what you need to learn and get out of there. Do everything you can to take care of that race car. Then you have Jimmy Johnson and Travis Pastrana. Haven't been in cars for a while, so they need to learn what they need to learn, but they're locked in as well, so don't tear up that race car. Then you've got the rest of the field that's trying to do everything they can to get the best starting spot for the Daytona 500 as possible. But most of all, for all these drivers, don't tear up my race car.
Which one is it, car owner? Do you want me to go out and win this duel for you and bring those 3 that you went out and, got aggressive, or do you want me to bring this thing back? We shall see.
Let me remind you, I mean, I got 3 of these qualifiers. I didn't get the Daytona 500, so I still want the big prize on Sunday.
You love it.
Traditionally, one of these races is a barn burner and the other is a fairly orderly procession. We'll see how it goes. It's been a beautiful day in Daytona Beach today. Clear skies tonight. Things have cooled off considerably. 72 degrees is the ambient temperature with a very light breeze as we go trackside for the command.
And now, race fans, here to say the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome Bluegreen Vacations Chief Financial Officer and Chief Operating Officer Ray Lopez, joined by his father Bernie and daughter Lily.
Drivers, start your engines! Wow! Wow!
Yeah! Wow, adrenaline and caffeine. And we're ready to go.
Light the fires.
Joey Logano, defending series champ, at the ready. Kevin Harvick in his final 500 on Sunday at the ready. Let's go and see who wins the duel at Daytona as we set the starting lineup for Sunday's 500.
This ain't what you want. 16 in the block. I just wanna rock. I just wanna. I just wanna rock. That's my heart.
Some new faces and some familiar ones in new places as we get ready to set the field for the Daytona 500 in 2 150-lap races. The field is split in half. This first race will decide the inside lane for Sunday's Daytona 500.
Let's check in with old 7-time champion Jimmy Johnson. How about you, 7-time Jimmy Johnson? You got us. It's Boyer up in the booth.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Man, I am great. You're looking good. The numbers are still the same. They're in reverse order, but it sure is good to see you back in a Cup car. What's your feelings?
Yeah, buddy, it's great to be back. You know, what an opportunity here to come back, have some fun in NASCAR, bring Carvana over from the IndyCar side, and be a part of Legacy Motor Club. Looking forward to a fun night tonight. I've got a lot to learn. It's been a few years since I've been in a car like this, but excited to be here and happy that you survived the Super Bowl.
Well, buddy, this is going to be your 20th Daytona 500. Can't wait to watch you learn. Nobody's done this better than you, so good luck out there.
Appreciate it, pal. Have a good night.
7-time champ Jimmy Johnson. All right, let's take a closer look at the mechanics of things here with our crew chief Larry McReynolds in the Toyota Cutaway car.
The dynamics of a race car is the rear spoiler. Now let's go to our Toyota Cutaway car and let's take a look at the rear spoiler on the back of the car. The two things it controls is aero drag or straightaway speed and rear downforce. Now here at Daytona as well as the other super speedways, the rear spoiler is 7 inches tall. At intermediate tracks like Fontana, California next week, only 4 inches tall. That additional 3 inches creates a lot more drag on the straightaway and a lot more rear downforce. The other thing that big 7-inch spoiler does, Mike, the race car pokes a big hole in the air, which creates those big runs in the draft.
Thanks, Larry. Jimmy Johnson thought he had an engine problem in qualifying last night because the car had so much drag in it compared to the last time he was in a Cup car.
Used to being in them space shuttles.
All right, let's have a look at the Bluegreen Vacation starting grid for race number 1. The pole sitter for the 500, Alex Bowman, started on the pole in all 6 of his duels with Hendrick. His teammate William Byron won a duel in 2020 there in Chevrolets. Penske Fords in row 2, the defending Cup Series champ Joey Logano and his teammate Ryan Blaney, who won his duel in 2018. Second-year driver Harrison Burton for the Wood Brothers finished 3rd in his duel last year, and Bubba Wallace top 7 in all 5 of his duel starts, the fastest Toyota in the field. Chris Buescher won a duel race last year. He's in a Ford. Series runner-up Ross Chastain in a Chevrolet. New contract announced today for Ross. Kevin Harvick in his final Daytona 500. He's a 2-time duel winner. And Ty Gibbs, a Cup Series rookie, last year's Xfinity Series champion, makes his first start. Christopher Bell in a Toyota, dual runner-up in 2021, and there is 7-time Jimmy Johnson, who's at least locked into the field on speed. Row 7, Michael McDowell in a Ford, the 2021 Daytona 500 winner, and Eric Jones, who won here in July of 2018 in a Chevy. Zane Smith trying to race his way in one of those open cars. He's the defending Truck Series champ. A.J. Allmendinger makes his first dual start since 2018. Austin Dillon in a Chevrolet won here last August. He won a duel in 2021. Ricky Stenhouse won a race here in July of 2017, both in Chevys. Then there's Cody Ware's Chevrolet, finished a Cup best 6th here last August. And Ty Dillon in 2016, he had a top 5 finish in his duel. Finally, Chandler Smith, who had difficulty in qualifying, electrical problems. He has one way to make it into the 500. He must finish this race ahead of Jimmy Johnson and Zane Smith. So those 3 drivers here in Duel 1. The same menu for Duel 2. Austin Hill can race his way in, or if Travis Pastrana does, he may get in on time. Connor Daly has only one choice. He did not get to qualify last night. He must race his way in. They're going to test pit road speeds for the drivers in this first duel. So let's go down to pit road, beginning with Jamie Little.
Hello, Mike. You know, when it comes to Toyota, they certainly don't have strength in numbers. Just 3 cars in this duel, 4 in duel number 2. Now, last night in qualifying, that really wasn't their main focus. Their fastest car was Bubba Wallace in 11th. But when it comes to racing, this is what they came to do. These cars are set up to race. I asked Christopher Bell, though, what's it going to take to focus on this race, learn what you need to, and win? He said, we're going to run with our teammates, but we know we don't have enough strength. We need to find some other buddies to run with if we want to get the job done tonight. Regan?
Well, Jamie Little, there is no pressure like trying to race your way into the first Daytona 500. That is exactly what Zane Smith will attempt to do tonight. The mission for him, very simple. He's got to stay ahead of Chandler Smith and finish in front of him when we get to the end of this duel race. I spoke to him earlier. He said that the nerves are good. He hasn't had enough time to be nervous about this because he's been busy with the Truck Series all day long. The 2022 Truck Series champion has 7 wins, including 1 last year here in the Truck Series at Daytona. Plenty of experience, but he's going to have to deal with some pressure. Josh Sims?
Yeah, speaking of pressure, 20-year-old Chandler Smith is looking to make his Cup Series debut in the Daytona 500. To do that, he's got to race his way in ahead of those 2 other open cars in duel number 1. His week got off to a rough start as his car kept cutting off during qualifying. Well, they fixed the battery, fixed the connectors, hoping that was enough. He's going to start from the back of the field, but Chandler tells me, hey, that just means he can race the way he always loves to race, and that's being aggressive, guys.
Here's how the field is set for the Daytona 500. Last night, the front row was locked in. Hendrick Chevy teammates Alex Bowman and Kyle Larson. Duel number 1 sets the inside lane for the 500. And the highest finishing open driver or driver in a car that does not have a NASCAR charter, there are 36 of those, will earn a starting spot. Then the final 2 positions goes to the open drivers falling back on qualifying speed. So we'll keep you updated on those battles as we go through the night. But every position you advance in this race moves you up 1 row on the Daytona 500 starting grid.
That is so important. This fuel window and how they split this 60-lap race up. That is where all the magic has happened the last 2 races.
We expect the manufacturers to pit in groups.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, and that's where the magic is. Who has that strategy better than the rest? But I like this open and having this many open cars where somebody's going home. The pressure's on them, boys.
Green flag as Alex Bowman elects the outside row for the start.
All these drivers have seen these lineups. They've looked at their moves, tried to find the best matchup that they pair with, maybe their teammate, maybe their manufacturer ally. Everybody knows where they want to be. How do they get there?
And there has been no practice at Daytona this week. This is the very first lap in the draft any of these drivers have turned this year.
Saw Alex Bowman there going into turn 3, got a push from Ryan Blaney, and Alex said, I don't think I want anything to do with that. He just kind of moved up and gave the inside away.
It's all yours.
Ryan Blaney.
Ross Chastain right back. Here comes Alex Bowman on the outside. Big shove.
Blaney from 4th and Bubba Wallace from 6th.
Now he's going to let him go. Didn't want any of that.
I talked to Alex Bowman last night after he won the pole, said his crew chief Blake Harris. He asked Blake, how's this thing going to run Thursday night? He says, well, it's built for speed, not for handling. You're going to have a tough time Thursday night with this car, but it'll be right for Sunday.
Yeah, and you see Alex, he's just being smart. It's literally risk versus reward. And you're going to hear us talk about this multiple times tonight. But he just literally has nothing to gain by doing that. He'll get in the draft here. He'll figure out what the balance of his car is, but he does not want to get him in a position where he has to go to a backup car and loses that pole starting spot.
Chastain on the outside with rookie Ty Gibbs and Christopher Bell. Against Blaney and Bubba Wallace, William Byron on the bottom.
And there's your ride right there. Those 2 cars back there, Zane Smith and Chandler Smith, door to door for that open position. One of them guys makes it into the Daytona 500, and the other one goes home. No practice, 1 lap of qualifying. All these guys have had. So far, so good. You've seen good blocks out of Blaney, good pushes out of Bubba Wallace.
Now, Blaney edged ahead a ways. How far is too far to get in front of this group?
That's a great point, and that's what these guys will be paying attention to. I mean, the spotters will be screaming if that lead driver gets too far out. The hard part is you get out too far and then try to make an adjustment, the whole field will go by you. So you have to catch it really, really early.
Saw Alex Bowman, our pole sitter for the Daytona 500, already backing way off. He's going to save that thing for Sunday.
And who can blame him? If you have trouble here and have to go to a backup car, you lose that front row starting spot.
And after tonight, these guys are going to have 2 practice sessions, one tomorrow, one Saturday. They'll have time to get that car driving the way that he wants it to drive. The important part was getting the task done last night of getting on that front row for the 500 on Sunday.
2 by 2, good pushes from both help. You see Chastain and Ty Gibbs on the outside. Gibbs is giving him a heck of a shove. Has his teammate Eric Jones right behind him.
Now look at the inside.
Yeah.
Bubba Wallace, 2nd place, got married New Year's Eve. You know who was in his wedding party? Ryan Blaney, the leader, right in front of him.
Well, let me tell you something. He'll help him right now. When it comes to the end, he's out. No more invite. I'm impressed the way these cars are pushing, though. Able to bust through that bubble, Tony. Everybody knows, you know, that bubble's so important. Some cars can do it, some cars can't.
Final note on Alex Bowman, since we may not see much of him tonight. Remember last night on his qualifying lap where he went up way up above the yellow line in turn number 2? He said the car wouldn't hold the bottom. I had no choice. Car didn't want to stay on the bottom, but he was still fastest and won the pole.
We're stacking up on the outside again. A lot of pressure. A lot of movement from Eric Jones into his teammate Gibbs. All over the back bumper of Ross Chastain.
What are you learning about your car right now, Tony?
The biggest thing is trying to learn how good it sucks up to the car in front of you, how good it can push. but then also trying to figure out what do I have to do from keeping my car from stalling out. And I mean, the cars on the outside grabbing with the air, grabbing that car and pulling it back. So trying to figure out how close do you tuck to the cars on the other row on the outside of you if you're on the inside, or vice versa.
Let me take it a little bit further. Now you've come for qualifying again. You heard me say no practice in these cars whatsoever. Is it darty? Is the toe on? Is it off? Is it bouncing like we saw? They can make some adjustments, but this was impound procedures from last night's qualifying. So these cars aren't exactly the way they want them for the Daytona 500 on Sunday. So trying to figure all that out, sort that out, take care of this car in these duels is very tricky.
And just like you're mentioning there, last night when they go to qualifying, they're not thinking, is that steering wheel exactly straight where they want it? They are just really concentrating on being as smooth as they can. So it's all the little things that you would normally notice and figure out in a practice session that these guys are just now getting an opportunity to figure out.
Jamie Little.
And Alex Bowman on the pole for the third time in the Great American Race. He came on the radio and said, man, this car is just too hard on the left rear. Of course, it's qualifying setup, Mike, and you talked about it. It is not comfortable right now, so by design, he dropped back. He wants to save this car because they really believe they have a good setup they'll put on it tomorrow for Sunday.
Kind of knew that was going to happen, but that's a gamble. Say you set that thing up to go for the pole, and by some reason it doesn't make on the pole. Now he's got to race his way in for position on this duel. That's a risky gamble that they took, and it paid off for them. I'll tell you another thing I see out here. You just heard her talk about Jimmy Johnson. You know who's right on Jimmy Johnson's tail? It was his teammate in that Guns N' Roses car. Allies. It's all about your teammates and allies. Help.
We're good. We'll keep organized. You in the 84, tight front. 34 with you, half back now.
Kevin Harvick riding 10th. That's Christopher Bell on the outside. Joey Logano right behind. We'll complete 10 laps and step away for a brief break. Ryan Blaney leading Bubba Wallace and William Byron. Ford, Toyota, Chevy in that order. Sunday on Fox, it's the Great American Race. Pre-race coverage begins on Fox 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Our race coverage at 2:30 Eastern only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Working lap 12 of 60 in the first duel at Daytona. Ryan Blaney still in command over Bubba Wallace, William Byron, Ford, Toyota, Chevy. And Zane Smith in the 36 right now in the transfer spot. You see the driver names in yellow on our pylon. Those are the drivers trying to race their way in tonight. Regan.
Well, Mike, so many different agendas on the racetrack. Ty Gibbs, one of those drivers that is just out there trying to gain credibility for Sunday. I spoke to crew chief Chris Gale before the race began. He said that is a must for us. Ty is still relatively new to the Cup Series, only 15 starts 1 year ago. He said that we need to build the trust with these guys. Early on in the race, he was up front, tried making a move, got shuffled back. Now he's going to have to reset and try and go from the back to the front again.
All right, here's a little audio from Team 54.
That top's only got 3 now, everything else on the bottom up front.
I felt like I was just trying to help the 20 out there. I kind of scared myself, didn't really think much of it.
No, it's all good.
Teammates, Christopher Bell in the 20, Ty Gibbs in the 54. That 54 is really last year's 18 that was driven by Kyle Busch, who's moved on to Richard Childress Racing. That number sits idle this year with Gibbs in this 54.
Maybe a missed opportunity or a missed move on Ty Gibbs's behalf, but I think those Toyotas are extremely fast. They're pushing each other more aggressively than other cars can. That means they pull up to the bumper of the car in front of them. I like what I see out of the drafting in the Toyotas. Didn't see them last night in the speed, but these things showed up for the race.
So why is that the cars that qualify up front at Daytona don't race well, and the cars that give up some qualifying speed handle better?
It's all in the setup. The setup to make them go fast for 1 lap is way different than making it set up for 60 laps where handling is going to be a factor. The air is different because you're in traffic. You're going to have side drafting, might even be stuck in the middle of 3 lanes wide. So you have to have a car that has drivability and balance to it versus all-out speed.
And no changes allowed between qualifying and tonight's duel. They will get a chance to work on these cars through the 2 practice sessions Friday and Saturday and have everybody handling well for the 500 Sunday. Jamie?
Well, Mike, we've talked about it. These guys, they have not had a practice session yet, so there's different agendas out there. And you look at Bubba Wallace, he's in the 23 in second right now. Listening to his radio, he said he's just playing with it right now. He said this car is better than we've had before, so he's just kind of feeling it out, see what it does up front, running in the draft, seeing what they're capable of come Sunday.
It's interesting. At the top of the show, here I am saying it's all about the manufacturers, the allies. How do you find your dancing partner out here on this racetrack? Well, none of that. Look, you got a Ford, a Toyota, a Chevrolet, 5 Fords behind them. Nobody's really together yet. When it comes time to it, it's lap 16 taking 17 right here. You heard Larry Mack tell us it's going to be somewhere around that 34 to 36 lap where we thinking the fuel window is. Well, they'll make a pit. That's when this manufacturer support and the help and the camaraderie between that is going to start showing up.
Yeah, at the start of the race, I mean, there really just wasn't opportunity for guys to be picky on who their partners were going to be. The inside line was stuck with the inside line. The outside line was stuck with the outside group. Just in the back is when there's been some shuffling, but they just haven't had the opportunity to take the time to really search out the partners they really want to be with. Josh?
Well, you know, I talked to Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 47 before tonight's race, and he said the plan for them, they're going to go out there and race. He wanted to be aggressive, didn't qualify as well as he felt his car was, felt they had speed. He started 14th, got himself into the top 10. He said the key after that, they can't have a slow pit stop. He said they had that last year. It killed them, so they got to execute to perfection tonight.
How about Zane Smith right there? You saw him in the picture right behind Ricky Stenhouse Jr. running 10th. That 36 car holding strong. That's an open car that has to race his way in.
There's the other open car, Chandler Smith in the 13. And there is Zane in teal and white, who won the truck race here last year. Working lap 17, Ryan Blaney still out front as we take you Fox side by side.
Hey, Buck, I know you don't like voicemails, but I hope you're doing great. I wish I was with you. You are so brave. Just keep getting out there. And I hope you know how lucky I am to be your dad.
Toyota. Let's go places.
People remember ads with a catchy song. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance, here's a little number you'll never forget.
Customize and save.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
It's called the birthplace of speed. Back then, it was the hard-packed sand that allowed for records to be broken. Today, it's the high banks and long straightaways. Not to mention, it's the dream of every driver and fan, offering a moment of glory that will extend well beyond 500 miles for years to come. We're still talking about the first one, and guarantee we'll be talking about this one. Here's to the great American race that can only be the Daytona 500.
Let's take a journey through this great nation.
I want to see what they saw. I want to see what changed them.
This land of the free.
We're fixing to get filthy, stinking rich, boys.
This home of the brave.
I always wanted to be that person to help somebody out when they needed it.
Big stars.
Grab a glass and join us.
Has anybody else been fired recently?
Big ideas. America is born. Welcome home.
Okay, here we go.
Welcome to Fox Nation. America is streaming.
It's called the birthplace of speed. We're still talking about the first one, and guarantee we'll be talking about this one, the Daytona 500.
As you saw in side-by-side coverage, the last 6 cars lost the lead draft running side-by-side. Once they got single file, they caught back up again. That's where Austin Dillon in the 3 jumped to the outside and was rewarded for his trouble with a trip to the rear.
Yeah, you would think he got caught back up to the pack and would just be like, I'm okay just hanging out here for a minute. Don't want to risk going to the back again or getting dropped down the back of the pack. But, you know, he's hanging on tough right there. He's actually trying to make a move on the outside almost by himself.
Now, Ty Dillon has lost the lead draft, and it's pit stop time.
Pitting early, short pitting him quite a bit early.
Green flag stops for 9 cars.
All
led by William Byron.
Chevrolets. That's why the 3 car was trying to make that move around them. He knew they were pitting. The 2 tire stops.
A lot of right side tire changes. Ty Dillon, to catch that group, may not have taken tires.
Allmendinger stalled it coming out of the pits. It's going to be a slow stop for him. Hard to catch up. They need every car they can get. Strength in numbers here.
And that's a great point. I mean, Ty had lost the draft. There was no hope of him getting caught back up. Sacrifice the performance of the tires just to get yourself back in that pack. It's the lesser of the evils.
Boy, I think the fueler thought they had more time, but the equipment stayed in the box, so likely no penalty call there.
Man, guy held tough there for sure.
The speeding police have nabbed Chandler Smith and Ricky Stenhouse, too fast on pit road.
Chandler Smith.
So that will be a pass-through penalty under green.
One of our open cars needed a big night. Not the what he was looking at, but this happened last year, and boy, did that blow up in our face off of turn 4 right at the end.
At least he's not by himself. He's going to have company with Stenhouse, so that's the only saving grace to it. But I don't know if that's going to be enough to help him out.
And that speeding call is all electronically timed. There are timing loops in different sections up pit road, and it's time over distance. If you're too fast in any one of those sections, the penalty gets called electronically. There's no human component to it.
And this is interesting. We just saw the angle of seeing the Fords and everybody coming off of turn 2 trying to catch the Chevys. What they will try to do now is gain as much time. If they can catch that pack, they're actually going to get by themselves and bank some time during their pit stop to get back out ahead.
Larry Mack?
Yeah, Mike. Clint and Tony were talking about Ty Gibbs maybe making some moves out there that was not working in his favor. Just after he did it, he came on the radio and told his crew chief, Chris Gale, "Don't worry, bud. I got my notebook out, and I'm making notes as we go."
Hey, that's what these races are for. Figure this thing out. Make these mistakes now in this duel. Don't make that for the big race on Sunday.
Riding with 4th place Harrison Burton, and now with 6th place Kevin Harvick.
How low those cars are to the ground. Now it becomes a lap time battle. What line is running the faster lap times? That's what's going to dictate this next group as to when they pit.
All right, Ricky Stenhouse served his penalty last time by. Now Chandler Smith down pit road and serving his penalty.
Costly mistake. Mistakes are always, you know, the Achilles heel in anything, and minimizing those mistakes. Going to need a caution or something to happen to these other 2 guys for him to have a chance.
So right now, Zane Smith in 9th place in the race-in spot. Jimmy Johnson is already locked in on speed. Here's the way those open cars sit right now. William Byron led that Chevrolet group onto pit road and off of pit road. He is currently 12th, but first among the cars that have pitted, with Ross Chastain in tow.
But here's the factor that we have to see is these lap times there. The difference in speed is enormous right now. But there's something we've seen here in the past too. The group that pits first sometimes has the advantage because the second group comes out and the first group that pits is behind and gets that tow and gets a big run and just goes right on by. But this is an opposite scenario where they pitted early. That second group you see coming off of turn 2 down the backstretch, they're getting that draft now, and you see it in the lap times. They're banking that. So it'll be interesting to see how this all averages out by the time not only we get through the whole pit cycle on the Ford side and Toyota side, but where they all land 5-10 laps after.
Spot on, Tony. We're not talking tenths here. We're talking seconds, 2 seconds faster a lap than that group that already pitted. They're running them down in a hurry.
46.50 for Blaney on that last lap. He is the race leader. The William Byron group, 48 seconds. A second and a half because Blaney's group is beginning to sniff the draft of the cars that pitted earlier.
I think the upper hand goes to them. Saw this last year. Those lap times, you cannot deny those.
There are your leaders. How about Bubba Wallace? Will he pit with the Fords? That's what he has all around him.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. You're going to strengthen numbers. You're going to pit with hey, your bed's been made. You know who your dancing partner is. We'll figure that out if there's a chance at the end. But I'm only one Toyota and a field full of Fords right here. I'm going to stick with them.
The next Toyota is Christopher Bell in 7th, and then Ty Gibbs in 10th. So you're right. Safety in numbers when it comes to drafting.
Absolutely.
46.40 for Blaney, faster that lap. 48 flat again for the William Byron led group that has already made their pit stop.
And I think you'll see Blaney and that group's number getting smaller and smaller each lap till they catch him.
This is something from this perspective, you know, being up here in the booth, Tony, you never realize what was going on in the car. You know you're catching them, you know, but you don't know about how quick or when you're going to catch them or if you're going to catch them. You know you still got to pit again. It's so much fun to see the anxiety of a crew chief's mind in this battle of a strategy.
Here is Joey Logano's team. They're running 3rd.
Hey, we get the 23 out. What do you think? Got a ton of Fords with me. Hold tight. Stick with where we're at now, just the way we're catching these guys. Don't want to leave a Ford hanging.
Trying to spit him out, but I agree with that move. You're catching these guys in a hurry. Strategy-wise, this is working right in their playbook.
And they have caught the group of Chevys that pitted first. Jamie.
Watching the Penske cars right now, the 12 of Ryan Blaney, they said we need to come now. The 22 is on the wall. And Bubba Wallace, you guys were talking about him in the 23. He said when the 12 of Blaney comes down, we're going with him.
And here they come.
They have to get down to pit road speed before that yellow line.
No mistakes.
Josh.
And Kevin Harvick coming into pit as the plan with the rest of the cars he had been running with. He's been running inside the top 10. They're going to get some fuel and head back out. Regan?
Josh, things going perfectly right now for Zane Smith. He went to Roush Fenway Racing, Keselowski Racing to practice stopping the car for pits. Just for this moment, they told him not to slide the tires. Jamie?
And the plan for the Toyotas and Penske's as well. Right sides only, just enough fuel. They need to make it 30 more laps.
Halfway. And Zane Smith has lost that draft coming off pit road.
I think I saw a couple of those guys trying to gain some track position on pit road. Came in towards the tail of that and just took fuel only. No tires.
Ty Gibbs too fast exiting pit road.
You heard me say it, no mistakes. Whole different ball game when you're practicing pit road at speed on a green flag stop. Very hard to get these things slowed down. You got one stab at it, but if you were off, that adjustment's already been made.
But again, everybody has to understand, we're seeing these penalties and we're seeing these drivers make these mistakes. You've got to give them a mulligan on this from the standpoint. You can't be upset as a crew chief. You can't be upset as an owner, as a spotter, or any of that. They have not been on the track except for qualifying one lap. So they haven't had a chance to practice coming on pit road, going through the gears, exiting the pits, all of that. They haven't done any of that so far. So this is the time to learn those mistakes. It's, unless you're a driver that has to race your way in, it's truly not a large penalty. You're still going to be in the race on Sunday, and you get this out of your system. Now they've got that first cycle. Now it makes everything easier.
So the Ford and Toyota group managed to pit and get back on track without losing the lead. Logano over Harvick, Bell, Blaney, Buescher, and that's all a consequence of pit stops. Paul Wolfe, Joey Logano's crew, getting him out first, and he is the leader with 28 laps to go in dual race number 1. Tomorrow night in Daytona, America's toughest, fastest trucks, full throttle, bumper to bumper at the World Center of Racing. 7:30 Eastern on FS1, the Craftsman Truck Series. Lid lifter for 2023. Now, the gap between the two groups was 11 seconds right after the Fords made their stops, Fords and Toyotas. William Byron and the Chevy group has only eaten up 1.5 seconds of that lead.
Well, this is where if you're that lead pack, right? If you're this pack of Fords, you've got to keep that chain together. Keep that thing, no slack in it. Don't let it bounce back and forth. Do the best job you can do keeping that train alive. If you're the second group, do the same thing. And I like the way they're doing this. They're only catching them a couple tenths a lap. Before it was 4 tenths. That front pack needs to keep their pack together.
Christopher Bell audio.
Are the Chevys catching up? Only about 2/10 a lap right now, so they're not making too much progress, but they'll build up steam the closer they get.
That's
so they
exactly
probably will
right.
be back to us by the end. At the very end, I would say it'll be close.
That's so interesting. They knew it. We saw this in the duel last year, Duel 2. Those Toyotas pitted way early, and they never got to rebound. It was too far apart. These guys, it's a little bit closer.
Clint, I'm not sure I see it. It's 23, make it 22 laps to go as the leaders come to the line. It's going to be at least 10 laps before this second group gets close enough to sniff a draft off the leaders.
Keep your eyes glued on them lap times. If they start picking up, if it goes from 2 tenths to 4 tenths to a second and then 2 seconds like we saw before that pit, then you're in trouble.
That last lap, they closed 0.6 of a second, and it's not going to be a linear advance. The closer they get, the more advantage they're going to get. The bigger toe they're going to get. They're going to close that gap even faster. And that time was from the last car in this first pack to the first car of the second pack.
Right now in 9th place, the 36 of Zane Smith is in position to race his way into the Daytona 500. Jimmy Johnson would get it on speed, and Chandler Smith, who's gone 1 lap down, would head for the house tonight.
That doesn't surprise me with Zane Smith. His experience in the Truck Series, champion driver, a lot of experience, won this race a year ago. That guy's holding a pretty wheel, knows what he's doing, putting himself in a good position.
Half then 1 in front. Half then 1.
That time it was only, what, 1.5 tenths. They're going to need to do more than that.
If the front pack stays single file, I think they're going to settle it among themselves.
Which they will to the end. If I'm anybody in that front pack, I'm going to stay that way, single file. Listen to your spotter. Do not get out of line for nothing until it's time right there at the end on the last lap.
That gap has opened up to 8.9 seconds now.
Now that front line, just like I said, they've got their stuff together. They've got their communication. They've worked together. Now they're even gotten 1.5 tenths faster than they were before. They're actually getting away from the back pack.
Alex Bowman is making a pit stop, his first. He did not pit with a group of Chevrolets earlier. And again, his position for the 500 is secure. He will be the pole sitter.
Like what they're doing there, though. That's practice. Go down there and get that pit road, the pit boys some practice, changing them tires. Gonna need them on Sunday.
All right, let's show you the gap from the Joey Logano-led pack. You see entering turn number 1. The 13 car, Chandler Smith, all by himself, a lap down. Jimmy Johnson has lost the lead draft, and the Chevrolet is now just entering turn number 1. In fact, Johnson's off the pace. He is on the track apron, or excuse me, that's Bowman. I'm going to get those numbers all mixed up this year, aren't I? Jimmy Johnson's now the 84. Alex Bowman's the 48.
Look at this,
that
little mix up already. This is too early. Shouldn't have been doing that. That's what they can afford to do.
But this is actually, they caught the lap cars of the 54 of Gibbs and the 51 of Ware. So they had ran these guys down.
They're screaming at him, get back in line as soon as possible.
And they have, leading the lap car to the inside of Bowman now.
A lot of racing left. Anything can happen. Never know when a caution's going to come out, throw this whole race for a loop. But if it stays like this backpack's in trouble.
Well, those Chevys have stayed very, very organized.
That
and
group being,
single file right
that
here.
group being side by side in the front, they didn't like that. They're chomping at the bit seeing that. They need to get away from this right here. Ugly. Look how far they've lost the front pack. Just in a lap, this group right here has lost 25 car lengths on that front pack being single file.
Which is over a second. Two champions on point. Logano, two-time champ now, and Kevin Harvick. With Blaney third, Buescher fourth, 4 Fords leading Christopher Bell's Toyota. 17 laps to go in Blue-Green Vacation Duel number 1. Saturday on Fox, a special UConn basketball doubleheader. At 11:30 Eastern, the men, the 20th ranked Huskies, take on Seton Hall. Then at 2:30, the 6th ranked women take center stage as they battle 14th ranked Villanova. Saturday on Fox. Welcome back to the Blue-Green Vacations Duel at Daytona. 13 laps to go in duel race number 1. Joey Logano has now been out front for 16 laps after his Penske Ford teammate Ryan Blaney led 30. Ross Chastain was out front for a lap during the pit stop exchange. We have been caution free.
Saw a big push of Kevin Harvick on the bumper of Joey Logano there. You see that chain's kind of breaking up. You need that gap to kind of stay the same with all those cars. Once it starts accordion, see that accordion effect, that then they start slowing down. You can't keep an average and speed up.
Tony, at what point does this lead pack say, okay, the Chevys can't catch us, we're going racing?
Well, I'd say probably no sooner than 5 laps to go at this point to be safe. But this increment keeps it will close in a little bit and then it grows a little bit, so you're going to wait a little bit longer to figure out exactly what this scenario is going to shape up like.
Which one is it, Tony? Do I have to wait or is it going to catch? Man, this is killing me. The suspense is killing me.
Well, if you're Tony Stewart, you're going to wait a little bit longer. If you're Clint Boyer, you're probably going to jump and start moving 2 laps before that.
I like these lap times. That front pack put together really good lap times at 47 flats. Getting it.
So in that lead pack, 7 Fords and 2 Toyotas. Here's the leader.
Anything you need me to deliver to Harvick, or you good?
No, I'm assuming he's going to ride there until we're at the end, I assume. But we'll see. We just got to stay committed.
So Joey Logano at the Clash at the Coliseum was in the Fox booth with us with Kyle Busch. They left the booth, well, not arm in arm, but hey, have a good race. Hey, what? And then during the race, they all get together. Kyle Busch called Joey two-faced. Joey says, I am two-faced. I'm happy to be your friend off the track, but when I get on the track, I've got a job to do.
Well, let me tell you something. You heard Joey Logano say, I assume he's going to wait till this last lap and do a move. Well, it didn't exactly go very well for Joey Logano on the last lap of the duel last year. Watch this. Uh-oh.
You broke the L and the O.
I had it all set up.
I know.
Chris Buescher had a big run, took advantage of a lapper. They caught a lapper. He had a big run on him, goes to the inside. Logano chose to block him, wiped him out. Catch up the rest of the weekend. Could happen again.
Yeah, it was a great start for the season for those RFK Fords, with both Buescher and Brad Keselowski winning their dual races 1 year ago.
I think that old Kevin Harvick, that 4-ball isn't excited. He's going to be aggressive this year.
9 laps to go.
Sitting pretty in a good spot. Got help behind him.
Well, it's all Fords back to Christopher Bell in 5th place, the leading Toyota, and Bubba Wallace in 7th.
Tony, you've been looking at these lap times. Have you given up on his backpack yet? What do you got?
I haven't. They actually gained a little bit, but it's been because of 2 single cars that they've been able to sniff that draft over. But we'll see what Harvick's got to say about this.
Here's Kevin Harvick's team.
I don't know who's going to go first, 17 or 12. Ready for anything. If they get a big run out back or get a little more congested back there, I'll let you know you're doing good.
Tim Fidoa, Harvick's longtime spotter.
They're going to have to be careful, and Harvick's a cagey veteran. If he pulls out and makes a move too early, you know Logano's teammate is the guy right in his bumper. Probably not going to go with him, but maybe Christopher Buescher does.
And the spotters are really going to play a key role in this at the end. They're going to figure out where the energy is in the pack. If it's really not developing, then you can't be aggressive. You can't pull out. So you're going to have to wait for something to start building and materializing before you can make a move.
Now, you say energy. What do you mean by energy?
Of these guys getting close enough to each other to really give that push and really start building momentum from the back, but it has to come from behind. You can't really build it from in front of you. It has to come from behind.
Or an opportunity. And that opportunity, much like I was saying in that second duel last year, that opportunity was a lap car. As soon as Buescher saw him, it was an awesome move. He saw him catch that lap car, timed it perfect, back his group up, and as soon as he broke loose and Logano stalled out, boom, he was there for the taking.
Zane Smith at the tail end of this pack. He is the one driver who will transfer in this race, riding in 9th spot. Jimmy Johnson back in 15th. Chandler Smith 1 lap down among the open cars trying to race in. Truck Series champ going to school on these Cup Series veterans in front of him. 6 laps to go.
That's one guy that is totally fine with staying in line right now.
See, the back group kind of sorted things out, made some shuffles there, maybe tried somebody else. See if we can make this line any better with a different combination. That's all you can do. Try to figure something out.
So one thing we've learned for the moment for Thursday night is the pack with the Fords in front faster than the pack with the Chevrolets.
I agree. That's the way it's shaping up so far for sure.
Well, I think they did a better job of their strategy. I really do. They took advantage and was able to capitalize on that short pit on the other side, and they had that big run, and it's a huge net gain to them.
All right, Tony, 5 laps to go. Is it time?
I'm looking for opportunities now. I'm looking for energy to start building up. I'm looking for guys to start, moving around front to back and trying to figure out how they're going to build momentum to get a run.
All right, Clint, let's take another run at this.
Let's do it. This is going to be the block that I was talking about with Logano and Buescher. Buescher had that run on him, and man, Joey you can see the frustration. He knew it, but I like that. Joey Logano's here to win races. That aggression in that kid has always been there from day one, and it still is there.
Larry?
Yeah, Mike, I went back and watched that dual race the other night, and one thing Joey Logano said as he came out of the infield care center, remember, that was really the first race with the next-gen car to Super Speedway. He said he never dreamed that run would come that quick and that hard.
And I give credit to Buescher on that. He timed that perfect. He used that lapper as a pick and capitalized on it.
Well, you got to remember, when you get 2 cars side by side, it blows a much
trouble on pit road. Excuse me. Ty Dillon came in for a stop. They were going to put right side tires on it, and the right rear came off and rolled away.
That's off, but it's still on pit road. It's still in a pit box.
Yep.
As long as that thing doesn't get weight, is he going to get the tire? What's he going to do? They need a caution.
Not going to happen for them. 3 laps to go this time. Joey Logano in command. Kevin Harvick eating away at his rear bumper. Ryan Blaney in 3rd. Logano's teammate. Then Chris Buescher, last year's winner. All in Fords, all in Mustangs.
23's trying to get a run from like P7 into the 20. Says he would pull out. He's our 5th car in line.
And here you hear him talking about it. I'm confident that back group's not going to catch these boys. You can start fanning out and getting a race on, and that's what you're seeing out of Bubba Wallace, making a move back in that group up, building this energy that you talk about, Tony. Watch that 23 go. Watch this run.
But in the meantime, in the last 2 laps, they've lost 1 second to that second group back there. So it just shows that the pace they were running before, they were maintaining. They would gain a 10th or 2 or lose a 10th or 2. Now in 2 laps, they've lost a second. So you're getting drivers that are trying to maneuver and figure out how
2 laps to go, no chance of running. Here comes the run. Bubba Wallace. Is he going to make the move?
Yes,
there it is.
It's going to work because 6th place Harrison Burton lost the draft to the front 5.
Actually, see Christopher Bell move up.
You're clear. Hope is not.
He's going to be looking for that Toyota. Big run when Christopher moves up. Now the shaking and the dicing's going to happen. He's going to wait till Bubba gets on his bumper, and I see them Toyotas going to make a move on pounce on these Fords.
Remember, some things are undefendable.
That might have been that car owner talking right there, Tony. But that's you. Here it is. Christopher Bell, just like I told you. He's wanting it. He's looking.
All right, white flag this time. White flag waves. One lap to go. Incredible box.
Now we got a race. Big block by Harvick. Missed it. I still think you talk about energy. It's on that outside line. Blaney could be in trouble.
It's definitely lined up that way for sure.
Buscher's going to move down and help him.
Joey Logano's going to have to widen his car and block both lanes.
Here
Bell looking low.
Great move by Bell. Another block by Blaney, or excuse me, Logano.
Logano right in the middle of the racetrack trying to cover all the spots.
Great move by Christopher Bell.
Ahead, he is clear. Half ahead.
Oh, he went for it.
Here comes Bell.
He's going to need help on that outside. The energy's on the bottom.
Blaney's not leaving that teammate, though.
Nope. He's going to get a little help from Buscher. Here they come to the flag for duel number 1. Logano.
Didn't make that big block. Learned from that lesson, but the energy you were talking about won that race. Got the energy when it needed it off of turn 4. Won the race.
Horse here. Stop, Joe.
Zane Smith.
Zane Smith has raced his way into the Daytona 500. Jimmy Johnson is in on speed. Chandler Smith.
Tell you
will
what,
head home.
Zane Smith not only raced his way in, he did a good job. Top 10 right there. That group of guys. Hats off to you, kid.
Ran a smart race, and that's the most important thing. Didn't get himself in any compromising positions. Got in a good group, just stayed in line, stayed patient. Let the line do the work for you.
Joey Logano has his 3rd career dual win in his 15th try. He's won a dual race in 3 of the last 5 years. The last 2 times a defending series champion has won his duel was Joey, 2019 and just now.
Kevin was wanting to make that move, and Christopher Bell beat him to it. Beat him to the punch, and now breaks that line up. Huge momentum on the bottom by Blaney. Give him that shove. Watch this come. You have to take that move right there, Tony. You have to go to the outside. Try to keep that energy, that momentum. But it was no match for those 2 teammates on the bottom.
Absolutely. If Christopher does not pull out to the right to try to make that move, he just stalls out and it's over. His chance to win's over.
And you noted Buscher in the 17 until the last moment stayed on the inside with his Ford teammates and declined to go to the outside and help that number 20 Toyota.
And that number 20, if he could have kept Bubba Wallace on his tail, his other ally, if you're going to call it that, I think that would have been a different ball game at the end. But man, you cannot deny this kid. Nope. Always aggressive, always in the right spot, especially on tracks like Daytona. I like what I saw out of Buscher, though. Them RFK cars are fast.
6th career dual win for Team Penske among Ford drivers. And the 28th dual win for Ford. They've won 8 of the last 11. Jamie.
And the defending series champion has not skipped a beat. You guys got racy there at the end, Joey. What do you take away from winning tonight?
Oh, man, just a great job by the Shell Pennzoil team. The execution of this race is everything, right? Because you know most likely there won't be a caution, so you got to do a good job on pit road, cycle yourself to the front. But then I'm sitting there as a leader, and I'm like, man, I am a sitting duck. This is not where you want to be. I was hoping they started racing back there, which they did, which ended up kind of working out for me. And then when the 20 got to me, I saw Blaney was behind me. I said, that's my buddy. That's my buddy. I got to stick with him. So I knew the 20 would make the run to the outside, and I probably wasn't going to be able to defend that, and just waited for the 12 to push me through there. So good Penske effort there to get a dual win. Much better than what happened last year. So I'm glad to have a nice start here for the season.
Yes, much better finish. Joey Logano, your dual one winner.
Logano, Bell, Blaney, Buscher, McDowell, the top 5. Zane Smith races his way into the Daytona 500, and we will get set for dual race number 2. The fastest week in NASCAR is here and will set the stage for the Great American Race.
Speed Weeks continues with the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series tomorrow on FS1. And don't miss the Daytona 500 this Sunday on Fox.
What a way to start the 2023 season for the reigning champ, Joey Logano, getting it done in duel number 1 out there at Daytona International Speedway, winning the race in a really dominant fashion. He went out there and led so many laps in this 150-mile race. There were some guys that had a little more pressure than others coming into this race. Of course, that was Chandler Smith, Zane Smith. Those two guys had to race their way in. Jimmy Johnson locked himself in last night on qualifying. Chandler Smith did not qualify, which means Zane Smith, no relation, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, Zane Smith did race his way in. What a race for Zane Smith, who's standing by with Regan Smith.
Well, Zane Smith just raced his way in to the Daytona 500. You told me earlier today there were no nerves. You didn't have time for nerves. Were there nerves when you got down to the end there?
Very, yeah. Once we got to about 10 to go, I'm like, man, please, no caution. But just a huge shout out to my whole FRM team. Our WellCare Mustang was good enough to get in, which there's a lot of really good open cars. So just so proud of everyone. WellCare and Better for performance. I don't know what life is. I have Jimmy Johnson parked behind me. I watched him all my life growing up and still is my idol. And so just unbelievable being the Great American Race.
Zane Smith will race at Daytona in the Daytona 500 on Sunday.
A lot of Smiths in the garage this season, aren't they? Over to Regan Smith, Jamie Smith, Trevor Smith, of course, Jamie McMurray, Trevor Bain. I'm Shannon Spake. And you look at Zane Smith, I mean, my goodness, just a year and a half ago, this young man didn't even know if he was going to have a ride in the Truck Series. And now he just raced his way into the 65th running of the Daytona 500.
Yeah, I love it. He almost seemed overwhelmed. He's like, I got Jimmy Johnson behind me, an idol of his growing up. Did a great job, though, finished 8th overall. Happened to be on the right side of the pit strategy. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. But pit strategy played a huge role in the outcome of this. The Ford camp, the Toyota guys had the right strategy. Chevy did not. He had a little bit of a miscue, it looked like, in his pit stall when they made his green flag stop. Maybe he couldn't get it in gear. And we talked about it's harder. Like, these guys do this every single week, and we don't see mistakes. But there's more to the green flag stops and getting in and out of your pit stall than people can understand. But did a great job, didn't make any mistakes, and was able to race his way.
Yeah, big relief on that side. But, of course, for Chandler Smith, the emotions are very different, and he's with Jamie Little.
Well, Chandler Smith gave it a valiant effort. First time ever being in one of these cars, and things just didn't go smooth from last night. I know you gave it your all, but what do you take from this experience?
Just taking in the opportunity that Chris Rice and Matt Colleague gave me there. You know, before I said, you know, I'm fine with if I don't make it, but it'd be awesome if I made it. I believe that everything happens for a reason. I'm a believer. So I'm fine with this. I had a lot of fun right there. I learned a lot. Now I get what these guys talk about. When you run on a Sunday, you gain a lot of experience that translates to Saturdays and Sundays. Even from that one duel, I just learned so much, which was awesome. I'm taking that in. But, yeah, I just can't thank everybody enough at Colleague Racing, all the men and women that just put a full effort into coming down here and trying to attempt the Daytona 500 in their third car, first time as an organization. We weren't able to get it this year, but hopefully we can come back next year, make another attempt, and get it on the time.
All right, Chandler, we'll see you in the Xfinity race on Saturday.
Thank you.
Absolutely, still has a shot to get a victory down there in Daytona. A victory like Joey Logano got in duel number 1 today. Steering wheel in his hand, signature victory celebration.
Hey, Gracie, tell Mom and Dad they gotta see the living quarters. They are awesome.
Mom, Dad, Junior wants to show you something up on deck 3.
Wait, right now? We just started.
Don't worry, we have plenty of time.
It got a little dicey at the end of this race. Guys making moves, trying to get the victory in duel number 1 out there in Daytona. Christopher Bell making moves late. Kevin Harvick, all of these guys in the mix. Made it through cleanly. Christopher Bell would finish 2nd in the race. He is with Josh Sims.
Christopher Bell comes home 2nd in duel number 1. I saw you make the move at the end. What more did you need?
I don't really know. I need to watch it back and see what happened. And Stevie, my spotter, got on there and said I didn't have any help once I got outside the 22. So ultimately thrilled with 2nd to get 9 points. And Speedway racing has been a really big struggle for us, and it's been a focus to try and execute a little bit better. So proud of all of our partners at Ream and DeWalt to get them a good showing early on in the season at one of my weaker racetracks. So hopefully we can build on this and
maybe finish my first Daytona 500.
Thanks, and good luck on Sunday.
Thanks so much. All right, you heard Josh ask him, what more did you need to make it work and get the victory? What more did he need?
He just needed some help right there. I mean, all those Fords were lined up. They did a great job with their pit strategy, as Jamie mentioned earlier. And honestly, the Toyotas, they just didn't have the power in numbers. Christopher Bell did a great job working his way from about 8th place there at the white flag, you know, kind of finagling his way through the pack and making the move ultimately that could have won in the duel. He just didn't have enough help.
Do you know how to spell finagle?
I was saying finagle is not my vocabulary either.
You know, I know how to spell duel.
Sounds right, though.
I know how to spell duel, and duel number 2 is coming up. We've got duel number 1 behind us. Joey Logano got the victory in that as Chase Briscoe walks down pit lane, starting 3rd in duel number 2. It's time to start looking ahead to the next 150-mile race, and we'll do that when we get back. Last year, Joey Logano's motto was 22 and 22. Do you know what it is this year?
Never enough.
You got the text from Patrick Perrin just like I did, didn't you? It's not 22 and 23, but it could be. It's never enough, and it's never enough right there. Oh, getting all the love, all the feels right there from his family. That's awesome. That's what it's all about right there, spending victory lane after the duel with your family. All right, let's put that one behind us because we're going to look ahead. We got one more race tonight, 150 miles. These are the 3 drivers who are the open car drivers. Of course, we already know, Jamie, that Travis Pastrana has locked his way in.
Yeah, and I mean, Connor Daly has the most vertical hill to climb. He didn't even get to run a lap for qualifying. That has no laps in this car. Little experience in NASCAR. He's a great driver, obviously very successful on the IndyCar side. But, man, that's going to be such a challenge for him. Hopefully the car will start and that he's able to actually go out and try to race his way in. But that's going to be a big challenge for him.
Yeah.
When you look at Travis Pastrana, we know that he's gotten some laps in the truck earlier today. We talked to him in the pre-race. Larry McReynolds did. We saw his excitement. What do you do in this race to try to gain as much information as you can?
Well, I would think if I was Travis Pastrana, my adrenaline machine would be broken by now. I mean, he's base jumped. He's done all this stuff. But he is excited to be here. He's all pumped up. We saw that in that interview. If you're Travis Pastrana, you know you're locked in, so just make the laps. You know, hook up here with Denny Hamlin. He's starting in this duel right behind him. Get behind your teammate that knows how to plate race, probably one of the best plate racers in the series right now, and go and learn, log laps, and see what your car does.
Don't make the headlines for the wrong reasons. That's what I would say.
And he's got to pay for it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, kid might not go to college, he said. Yeah, I think if you're Travis, it's about going out and just learning the green flag pit stop, the drafting, what position you need to put yourself in, and just try to learn, educate a little bit.
Yeah, certainly one of the headlines for this entire weekend is the fact that Jimmy Johnson, 7-time champ, is back in the race. He did qualify on time last night. He was in duel number 1, and Regan caught up with him.
Well, Jimmy Johnson finishes 14th in duel number 1, but you just told me the car felt more normal. I heard you at one point on the radio say it's tight in the middle. I can't get the front of the car to stay down, just like old times, right?
It was very familiar once the tire pressures came up and got going. You know, some of the stuff that goes on for qualifying, I had a much different experience then, but that felt like a cup car at Daytona.
What are you thinking with this race car now? Did you learn what you need to for Sunday to have a successful event and get up there and contend for your 3rd Daytona 500?
Yeah, those are great reps. I have a new spotter, new crew chief, new team. There's a lot of new here, so to work through that, have a clean race. I wish our strategy worked out a little bit better and we could have finished further forward, but I was able to get a lot of reps that I needed for this environment.
A lot of new for the team, but one of the best of all time behind the wheel, Jimmy Johnson.
I feel like I'm in a time warp. Like, you know, I just got like crazy, rewinded and rewound and put back a couple of years. He talks strategy, right? Because I looked up at the scoring pylon and I said, oh my goodness, all the Chevys are outside the top 9. And you said, wait a minute. It's not just because of speed, it's because of strategy. So walk me through this.
So Joey Logano said this. We typically know we're not going to see cautions in the dual races. They typically go green. And that means that when you pit, makes a huge difference. Last year, the Fords pitted early, and it worked out for them because they had the most cars pit, came out, were able to run the fastest laps. This year, they pitted later with the Toyotas, and because the Chevys who pitted early couldn't stay locked together, we saw some of the guys have trouble getting on pit road in their pit stall. It didn't work out for them. So when you pit, I mean, and it's so hard because if you watch the races last year, what happened in the first duel didn't work in the second duel. So just because we saw the pitting early not work doesn't mean it won't work now.
Yeah, a guy who has had strategy, fast cars, whatever, aggressive moves, made it work so many times at this racetrack is, of course, Denny Hamlin, 3-time winner in the big race, 3-time winner in the duel, and he's with Jamie Little.
All right, Denny Hamlin coming up here in duel number 2. Well, you had 3 Toyotas there that you got to watch. What'd you take away from their performance there and what you need to do here?
It's such a numbers game in these duels. you know, for us, with not having numbers, we just try to blend into whatever Ford or Chevy pack has because they have more cars, and then we just sit there and wait to the last lap. I mean, that's pretty much all you can really do. So you got to make sure you execute on the pit cycle and then put yourself as far to the front as you can to be a factor. I thought Christopher did a really good job considering the numbers game, you know, making a good move there on the end.
All right, 4 Toyotas coming up in duel number 2.
Strength in numbers, is that what we're looking at with the Toyota camp?
Yeah, just like Denny explained and Jamie explained, it's always strength in numbers. And when I drove for Ford, they were always the best at getting everybody together. I think over the years now, Chevrolet, Toyota have done a good job at that. But right here, you see Travis Pastrana walking around. I've got to think that Denny feels better about his race knowing Travis is locked in. If you're the car owner and your team isn't locked in, he was going to be glued to that number 67's back bumper for the whole race.
You know, the one thing that I want to see in this next duel is all 3 manufacturers be able to race it out at the end. What we didn't see there was, you know, did the Toyotas have the most speed, the Fords, the handling? Jimmy Johnson talked about the car not turning well. I want to see, based on, you know, the racing, and when it gets down to the end, does one manufacturer have an advantage over the other?
I was pretty impressed with Christopher Bell's move when he did go to the outside of Logano. It was a pretty, you know, abrupt move to the outside. He was pretty confident and aggressive, right? You said Christopher Bell can't be aggressive, but he was right there. He jerked the car to the outside and trusted it to stick.
Yeah, you know, you got to make the move at the end to try to win the race. That's the guy right there that's hoping to make the move. I mean, what a day for Rick Hendrick yesterday, right? Guys, all guys on the front row. We'll be right back. There was a point last season that Eric Almirola didn't even think that he would be in this race. Of course, now he's going out in duel number 2, and he is on the front row for this event. And we haven't even mentioned Kyle Busch yet, who's, of course, making his very first start in this race. He was at the Coliseum in that 8 car.
Yeah, I mean, as excited as we are to see Kyle Busch, he's equally as excited to see what he's going to have. Like, the Clash is one thing, Trevor, but this is really when the season starts. Biggest race of the year. What's he going to have?
Yeah, and RCR always has great super speedway cars. I've got to think he's excited about this one for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait to see him out there, and I can't believe that we've gone like an hour and a half, 2 hours without saying Kyle Busch. Trying to, of course, win his first Daytona 500 this weekend on Sunday. The man who will call that race as well as duel number 2 is Mike Joy. Let's go to him now.
Shannon, thank you. We're set for the second Blue-Green Vacations duel at Daytona. 10 Chevys, 8 Fords, 4 Toyotas set to square off. Let's go trackside.
Yeah! No. And now, race fans, here to say the most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome Executive Vice President, Chief Sales and Marketing Officer, Dusty Tonkin, joined by his son, Xander, and representing the Great Lakes, Jeremy Wiley. Hey, Blue Greens, Corey LaJoy, and the rest of the drivers, start your engines!
21 drivers at the ready for Duel 2 as we congratulate Coca-Cola Racing family driver Joey Logano for his win in Blue-Green Vacation Duel 1 at Daytona.
Lately, all my hearts have been breaking. All these games I've been playing, straying from the plan, just trying to be the man. Lately, all my hearts have been breaking. All these games I've been playing, straying from the plan, just I'm trying to be the man.
Welcome back to the Blue-Green Vacations Duel at Daytona. Race number 2 to set the outside lane for Sunday's 65th Daytona 500 on Fox.
Let's check in with Travis Pastrana, see how his heartbeat's going here. Hey, Travis, Tony Stewart in the Fox booth. You got me, bud?
Pull all the way below the yellow line and get it where you need it to be, and then we'll go back in line.
Travis, Tony Stewart in the booth. You got us, bud? I'd say he's probably got a lot of instructions he's trying to think of right now. Let's check in with Larry Reynolds.
Mike, you might say, what did we learn in duel number 1? Well, honestly, as Mike and Tony pointed out, and Clint, I actually learned it a year ago in the duel race. You don't want to pit too early. Now, I talked to a Chevrolet crew chief that was in the first race, one that's in this race, and I talked to Jeff Gordon, and I said, are you guys going to adjust the plan for race number 2? And every one of them said, we certainly hope so. They're okay with pitting first. Just don't pit first too early in the race.
Thanks, Larry.
Spot
well,
on.
We know what too early is. Let's have a look at the starting grid, sponsored by Bluegreen Vacations. Kyle Larson will start on the outside of the front row for the 500. Best duel finish of 3rd in 2020. Eric Almirola in a Ford, the 2021 duel winner. Row number 2, a pair of Fords. Chase Briscoe finished 4th last year in his duel. Austin Cindric won the 500 last year. Row 3, Kyle Busch back in the Chevrolet camp, a 3-time duel winner, and Daniel Suarez has finished 8th twice in his duel, both in Chevys. Chase Elliott, a 2-time duel winner, anchors row 4 in a Chevrolet, and in a Ford, moving over to Stewart-Haas this year, is Ryan Preece, who finished 5th in his last time he was in the duel. That was 2021. Row 5, last year's duel winner Brad Keselowski in a Ford, and Tyler Reddick moves over to the Toyota camp, runner-up at Daytona last summer. Row 6, Martin Truex Jr. in his 19th duel race, and Travis Pastrana, who has already timed into the 500 last night. Row 7, Denny Hamlin in a Toyota, 3-time duel winner, and Noel Gragson, his 3rd duel start, first time running it locked into the 500 in a Chevy. Justin Haley, July 2019 Daytona winner, and Austin Hill trying to race his way in. Todd Gilliland finished 15th in his only duel. That was last year. BJ McLeod, making his 5th start, will have to go to the rear for a steering change. Riley Herbst making his first duel start from Las Vegas and in a Chevrolet, and Corey LaJoie, 3rd-generation star, finished a duel 7th best in 2021. Then it's Connor Daly, 97 IndyCar starts, but he is going to have to race his way in to make his first Daytona 500. Let's review the open teams on the bottom row. Travis Pastrana's in the 500 on time. If he finishes first among these 3, that'll put Austin Hill in on time. Hill and Daly can race their way in.
Let's check and see if we can get a hold of Kyle Busch, since we didn't get a hold of Travis. Kyle Busch, Tony Stewart in the Fox booth. You got me, bud?
Hey, Tony, what's up?
Well, different car, different color, different number, but same aggressive guy behind the steering wheel. What did you see from the first duel that you're going to protect or implement in the second one here?
Not a whole lot of rowdy, so we'll see if we can make this one a little bit more rowdy. But no, I mean, just trying to see what all goes down with the runs and like you guys were talking about, just the energy that kind of happens, and not trying to ride around single file, but we'll see what happens. You got to take care of your car. You got to have a good piece. We got a good 3G Chevrolet for the Daytona 500, so we want to make sure we come out of here one piece.
All right, man. You got a heck of a guy behind you that's a good pusher in his own right. So good luck. Have fun out there, man.
All right. Thank you.
4 Chevrolets among the top 7, along with 3 Fords. Here's Regan Smith.
Well, Mike, you mentioned Martin Truex Jr. 0 for 19 in the dual races, looking for that first dual win. And as a matter of fact, 0 for 71 at the super speedway races. I talked to crew chief James Small before they got ready to go out. He said, tonight we want to find out what this race car can do. We are going to be very aggressive. We have a great backup car in the truck. If we need that, we will use it. I want to find out if we can push and take pushes better than last year, where he won 2 of the stages in the Daytona 500. Josh?
Well, Regan, only 1 open spot left in the Daytona 500, and Austin Hill in the 62 wants it bad. He said he was stressed out before qualifying. He's stressed out before heading into duel number 2 just because he hasn't drafted in the Cup car, but now he knows the scenario. As long as Connor Daly isn't the top open car ahead of him and Travis Pastrana, then Austin Hill is in. In terms of Connor Daly, it's been a nightmare week. Couldn't qualify yesterday because of an electrical issue. And then today, they got it fixed, but it was all about trying to get the seat right. He had radio issues. When I asked him what he could expect out there, he told me, frankly, he doesn't know. He just says, when I get out there, I hope I have something I can work with.
I think he has 1 Cup start on the Roval at Charlotte last fall.
practicing pit road. I watched that car roll down there as Josh Sims was talking about him. Connor Daly needs to make sure that he capitalizes, and we've got a massive problem on the back of that car.
I can't accelerate. The thing is rocking like crazy.
Yeah, something's wrong with it.
Jamie?
Yeah, you heard the radio right there. He said something was wrong as soon as he rolled out on the track. He said it feels like something is bent in the rear end. And remember, Mike, they had issues yesterday, all kinds of weird things happening. So we'll see if he even is able to get up to speed here.
Yeah, that
something's not happy there.
Not at all.
Larry, could something be locked down that suspension's not being allowed to travel?
Well, it makes me feel like they've got something that's adjusted wrong. You have so many adjustments in those shocks, Mike. It makes me almost believe that they've got something way off an adjustment, or maybe something that's not even connected.
Well, you can just see it bouncing, rolling down the. Yeah, what I was going to get at, though, with these open cars, you saw that mistake in the first one. Don't beat yourself out of these things, much like that suspension problem right there. But pit road, do not get caught speeding. Only way you can beat yourself.
All right, Eric Almirola will start on the outside of the front row. Here's his team.
Points on the line right here. Still get a win. To start on this second row of that Daytona 500. Start the season off right now. 10-4. Let's do it.
Talk to Eric, and that's exactly what he told me. That was the game plan. Yep. Go, Cat, go. Let's go win this thing.
I like it.
Well, you better.
I'm all in for that.
Car.
60 laps, 150 miles, pit window 38 to 42.
I think you're going to see that fuel window and that pit be a lot closer to that one. Last one, they pitted at 21, coming to 22. That did not work for them guys.
Well, traditionally, if one of these races is a parade, the other one is a barn burner. Let's find out.
Still pushing here. 14 still lined up. All even. Still 2x2.
4 cars coupled together up front. Now 3 on the inside. Larson, Briscoe, and Kyle Busch in the 8.
Connected there, big push by Briscoe, moving up right in front of his teammate.
Almirola drops in 3rd from the outside of the front row. Has a look, thinks better of it, has another
out
look.
There, Briscoe is trying to go with him, trying to get the 10 in line on the bottom. Did not work out. Be interesting if Briscoe will move up in front of him, take the Fords to the front. But that's going to stack up a lot of them Chevys underneath of them. 10 Chevys in this, 7 Fords.
And 4 Toyotas who qualified last night, 20th through 26th.
I'm telling you though, those Toyotas sleeping. Do not count them guys out off of qualifying speed.
Nope.
Bad fast when it comes to drafting. Here's the driver's eye cam. You see there's blurring out on the dash there. That's proprietary information with team to team. You don't need to see that, but I'm telling you, this is going to be a really cool angle as we progress through the year. Such a neat thing. That camera is so tiny. Mike and I got to see it in the like literally tinier than anything I've ever seen. I cannot believe that that's a camera that can produce the images that it does.
Whoa, Briscoe got squirreled up just a little bit. Not sure if that was contact from Kyle Busch or not.
And it really let that outside line just roll right around the outside of Kyle Larson.
Oh, yes, that was contact.
And that slip up stacks that bottom line up, and here the outside comes.
But they're getting a big run on the bottom.
Yeah, Briscoe getting a little frisky there with the 5.
Another thing with that push from Kyle Busch, the Chevrolets, you hear these drivers talk about it, that arrow, you know, spearhead on the front of that thing. The Ford is a lot flatter front end. It enables those guys to push a little bit harder. I think that's what you saw with Kyle Busch on the bumper of the 14.
Now this year, all 3 manufacturers have a new nose piece, and Chevrolet made some effort at trying to resist that, reduce that pointiness, so those cars would push in the draft and be with a little more stable than what we saw here last year.
See, Almirola, he can pull down. It's not going to leave that 2 car. Good pushing, good company, good dancing partner.
This group is starting to string out. There is a gap from Denny Hamlin back to Noah Gragson, 14th to 15th.
Still there. 99 is going to give you a push. Still inside. Still there.
That's Doug Campbell, Austin Cindric's spotter.
Mike, we're seeing it already, Mike. You talked about it. Any one of these duels ever boring on one side of it or slow for excitement, the other one is for sure to produce. And these guys are already pushing way more than the other two.
Josh?
Yeah, and you saw Kyle Busch give a little push to Chase Briscoe a little bit earlier, but outside of that, Chase Briscoe keeps coming over the radio, and he just said, I'm out of control, loose. They told him just hang in there and keep fighting.
Well, again, that's part of the consequence of being one of the fastest cars last night, is you're going to be one of the more unstable cars tonight.
How about this 5 Kyle Larson? He's staying up front. That cat's got a car for sure on the front row. The only way you not do that is if you get in a wreck here. You saw that 48 spit out, let him go, finish the lap down or whatever. Kyle Larson's hanging tough.
Larry Mack?
Yeah, Mike, you see Eric Almirola in that 10 car. Remember, he qualified 4th last year. And when they dropped the green flag on the duel, he had bailed before they got through turn 2. I just went down and talked to Drew Blickensderfer, his crew chief, and he just gave me a thumbs up. What a difference a year has made with this car handling-wise.
Well, not only that, he doesn't have anywhere to go. Right. I mean, he's already against the yellow line on the inside. He's got a row on the outside of him. He can't really go anywhere.
Caution's out. It's a side window. I saw it blow out of one of their cars. There's somebody run over it right there. Wow. Boom. Side glass.
First caution flag of the night, and it comes at lap 7. Not sure whose that was. It'll become apparent as the cars come around. So we'll step away while we look for the offender. First caution flag tonight in the duel at Daytona. Seven laps complete in race 2 of the Blue-Green Vacations duel at Daytona. This one sets the outside lane of the starting grid for Sunday's Daytona 500 on Fox. A right side window has come off, and whoa, here comes almost everybody to pit road.
Already shaking things up. Like it. What do they do? 4 tires, 2 tires, no tires?
Josh.
You see Chase Briscoe coming in. He's been fighting a car that's extremely loose so far. He's going to get tires and fuel.
Well, LaJoie and Suarez and Keselowski peel out with fuel only.
How about that? 4 tires on the 14, fuel only on a lot of them, right sides only.
And the 45, Tyler Reddick, does not get going. He's going to fall all the way to the back as he finally leaves his pit stall. The side window that prompted the caution flag, we have found the culprit. Hope they have a spare sitting in their pit.
And I saw it blow out Justin Haley's car right there. That white roof, yellow number, right there. Tell me that air ain't turbulent back there in the pack. Sucked it right out of the right side of the car. Boom. And that's not something, Tony, that you probably have laying in the pit box to replace. There's somebody's running back to the hauler, finding one in a backup car.
Exactly. Somebody's doing a 100-yard dash right now to get back as quick as they can.
So he is the race leader because he did not pit. He couldn't pit because they're not ready to replace the window, but he will have to pit before they restart the race. Now, Travis Pastrana is a rookie at the Cup Series. Hasn't run much at Daytona. He did race in the Xfinity Series, but he's got some questions as to, let's say, manners and protocol and what's going on here.
Hey, when they got their hand out the window, does that mean come push me, or does that mean go inside of me or around me? In this case, come push them. I'm sure that's exactly what it means. They'll point. If they want you to the inside, I'm sure they're going to be pointing to the bottom. If they just have it out the window, they just want you to come get to them and help them. Well, I went around them, so he's probably going to be pretty pissed off.
Depends on what they're pointing with. The finger has all the whatever finger that gets out the window, that's what you'll know. I've seen them all. Tony, some from you.
Crew Chief Eric Phillips and spotter Jason Hedleski for Pastrana. Larry?
Yeah, Mike, Clinton, Tony. The reason they pitted right there, I talked to Drew Blickensdorfer, crew chief Eric Almirola. Remember, if they run up to about lap 32 to 34 and just do 2 tires, they're waiting on fuel. This way, less fuel when they do come and get those 2 tires.
Chase Briscoe came in to top off. B.J. McLeod has stalled leaving his pit. And you saw them go across the choose V.
First time I saw that, Mike.
Where every driver gets to choose his restart lane.
I thought that was going to shake things up. That's a new rule for these drafting tracks this year. We didn't do that at the Daytona Talladegas. We are now, and that's going to shake these races up, particularly when those green-white checkers come at the end. I like it.
Tough break for the last independent owner driver in NASCAR, B.J. McLeod. His car had to get pushed back into his pit after he stalled trying to leave, and they're still trying to figure that one out. 9 complete of 60 laps.
So many times, Tony, when you're setting yourself up, green-white checkered at the end of the Daytona 500, liking what you see in your mirror. I've got my allies, I've got my teammates behind me. What do you mean there's a choose cone rule? That is going to play a role in the outcome of this big race on Sunday. Maybe.
And we're already seeing the first example of it. I mean, the inside row is sitting there with Fords, the outside row with Chevys now. So we're already seeing how these drivers are trying to align with their manufacturer and trying to make sure that they stay with the group that they've planned to stay with.
I'm telling you, Mike, for 2 laps parading around there, you'd be counting them cars back. All right, now who am I going to have behind me pushing here? No chance. You're going to have 1 lap to sort that out now, and it's probably not going to be the guy you wanted.
So Ford's on the bottom with Almirola, Cindric, Chevy's up top, Larson and Kyle Busch.
I'm surprised Kyle Larson is staying up here. This is a risk. I like it.
We're back under green.
Still right with you to 2 with the car length behind him. 5 still on your door. Getting help from the 8. Still there, 5, half a car width between you. 8's right on him with a car length and a half behind the 8, half to the 2.
Spotter chatter. It's like air traffic control. But the driver's got to drive that car.
Well, by theory, they steer the car. I feel like the spotters drive the cars anymore. They're the ones seeing what lanes are building that energy and getting momentum, and then they're relaying that to the drivers, so they're really calling the shots.
Did you see how big a push Kyle Busch gave Kyle Larson? Really shot him out so far that Kyle had to elect to go down. Now what's he do here, Tony? Does he pull up, make this block, or stay on the bottom?
I think he just sits there and figures out which line is building energy, and then you choose that. He didn't do it there.
He thought about it. He pulled back down. I don't think he liked the way Kyle Busch was pushing it that aggressive. Kyle's going to try. Larson is going to try to stay as clean as he can here, but try to keep this track position as long as he can. If he loses it, I'd say he goes to the back. But if he stays up front, I bet he tries to stay there. A lot of pushing.
20 cars in that draft. B.J. McLeod got back out on track, but he's half a lap down.
I do think this is a scenario with Kyle Larson where the reason he's staying there is he wants to gather as much information as he can, but he doesn't want to do it with a lot of risk. If his car didn't feel good, he wouldn't stay there. He wouldn't elect to put himself in that position. But as long as that car feels and drives the way he wants it to, he is gathering knowledge that's going to help him for Sunday.
And remember, last night he was a 1/10.5 off of Alex Bowman's pole-winning speed. And the difference in those 2 setups may well be the difference between the car Bowman had trouble driving tonight and the car that Kyle Larson is leading with tonight.
Very true.
One in front now. You can push 1.
Whole different ball game. This duel is whole different ball game. We saw those Fords strong the last one. These Chevys are showing some serious muscle. That outside line, Daniel Suarez is giving him some shots. I think if they can get out ahead, they're going to move back down and probably try to get in front of Kyle Larson, pair those 3 up.
Kyle Larson trying to do what nobody's done since Chase Elliott in 2017. Win the pole and then win the duel race on Thursday.
huge run down the back stretch.
Watch what it does, though. Watch what it sets up. Both of those cars got out so far. Here comes Austin Cindric to the bumper of the 10, 9 in tow. That creates some slack there. They're ahead now, but look at the momentum on the outside, stacked up 6 cars deep.
The thing that happens is when the 5 and the 10 are getting a run like that, it looks so massive and they're able to gain so much ground. But the 10 car can't clear that outside line. The lead car did, but as soon as it pulls the second car back, then there's no energy to push that 5 car of Kyle Larson forward anymore, and then it just loses that momentum. And now it swaps sides. Now that outside lane then gets that run back.
I like where Kyle Larson's at, though. He's in a protected spot. I've always said ride on the bottom and dance on the top. And he's riding. He's trying to protect.
Austin Hill is in position to race his way into the Daytona 500. He and Travis Pastrana, 2 of the racing cars, nose to tail. Pastrana knows he'll be in on speed. Hill trying to race his way in. And the 3rd racing car, Connor Daly, 4 seconds back of the lead.
Yeah, I'm surprised Connor even got that car moving as bad as it was violently bouncing, but he's not out of this thing yet. That caution helped him.
Jamie?
Yes, the caution was a big break for Connor Daly and this team. He actually said the car was bumping around, jumping around so much. He felt like he was driving on a supercross track. That's something they do here in the infield. But they did raise him up off those bump stops a little bit, and he says it's drivable now. Regan?
We talk about what teams can learn tonight. Kyle Larson being one of those teams, racing that car that he knows is going to start on the front row. Crew Chief Cliff Daniels told me, though, we are wondering about the cooling with this new Chevy nose. That is one of the biggest boxes that they wanted to check tonight. What's the best way to do that? Well, it's with cars in front of you like he has right now.
All part of learning. Again, remember, no practice prior to qualifying last night or prior to tonight's dual race. So for Kyle Larson, this, since he's locked his way into a front row start, this is a 60-lap practice session.
Absolutely. And again, as long as that thing is comfortable, there's no problem staying there.
Nope.
It's just if it starts feeling bad at all, just cut your loss, get out of there, save it for Sunday.
You know, with this caution that came out and really jumbled the strategy up much from that dual win, now it's these cars back here. You can hear, riding with Tyler Reddick right here, you can hear him part throttle. That helps save. Going to need that the backside of this race.
So an early caution and a round of pit stops have shuffled the deck. We have 17 of 60 laps complete in the second blue-green duel. .40 laps to go in dual race number 2, and the whole pack is pretty orderly and single file, but for that Denny Hamlin on the outside trying to make something happen back from 12th place. And the bit of beating and banging that we expected in duel 2, well, it's been there, trying to forge their way to the front. Watch Keselowski, second car on the outside, pull up on Ryan Preece with help from Denny Hamlin, if you call that help.
Yeah, you get a little shot there, the entrance to the tri-oval, and then right up to the 41.
But if you look at Ryan Preece, you want to talk about a handful one way, the other. Please get off of me.
And a lot of that's because these cars, like you see there, they're dog tracking. They want the back of the car to go to the inside to try to hide the spoiler. So that car is not tracking straight initially. So when you get pushing it, you're pushing it at an angle already.
It promotes it.
Exactly.
And last year we found that too much of that skew would lead to a trip to the wall if you got a hard enough push. Josh, what about Daniel Suarez riding in second?
Yeah, Mike, and speaking of push, the 99 team was urging Daniel Suarez to do everything he could to push Kyle Busch and push that bottom line. Now they're single file. They told him once we get away from those blue ovals, then we can relax and start to log laps and wait till they can try and pounce towards the end of the race.
3 Chevys on front. That's Daniel's fiance, Julia Piquet, up there on the box. 3 Chevys, 2 Fords, 2 Chevys, a Ford. The first Toyota is Truex and Knight, and the Toyotas have not been able to get together. They remain sprinkled throughout, the 4 of them, throughout this field from 9th on back. Larry Mack.
Hey, Mike, you know, the question is, with that caution right there and with everybody topping off the fuel, what does that do to make it to the end of the race? I've talked to the 10-car, Eric Almirola's team. I've talked to Kyle Busch's 18. Chevy and a Ford there, they're saying they cannot make it, but they will go long, probably north of lap 40.
Be interesting if anybody can. We heard Ty Gibbs saving fuel back there in the back. The 14 took 4 tires, probably really packed that thing full of fuel. Be interesting if some of these guys could push, saving some fuel back there running in the pack. Probably 40% fuel.
Now, 3 cars to keep an eye on back there are going to be Reddick, Briscoe, and Haley, who all came in at the end of that first caution period to top off. Might they be able to go the distance?
Listen to him saving fuel right here. Let's right or wrong, Chase Briscoe. That's maybe part throttle, Tony.
I hope it is. It definitely
came off
is.
at 2. He was definitely cracking the throttle, and you can see the gap. Tyler Reddick, same way.
15th for Reddick. Ride and conserve.
Yep.
Is their duty right now.
Might just be the winning ticket.
Perhaps. All right, 35 laps to go. How about a Fox NASCAR Thursday night crank it up?
Danny's the first one, trying to play some gaps with the 45 in his bumper. They're still probably 8 behind you here. We're about 3 back from this 6. 31, 41, 6, 11, 45. They're coming. Climbing. Helps off by 2, still bottom lane. 52 staying bottom back here. 45's got no help by 3. Neither one of them has help in either lane. So you in the 11, 2 to the 14, coming with you. 1 to the 14, bottom is covered. 14's with you by half. Gap he had there, he was lifted quite a bit when he got to him. Ain't gonna work.
First rule of drafting is 2 cars side by side are slower than cars in line. Look at the gap that has formed there. We're going to take you Fox side by side.
Who said football season's over? This April, real football is back with the USFL. Reborn from the OGs. The hits, the picks, the dimes, drive so long you have to stop for gas. This isn't some Hollywood knockoff. This is Drydens USDA prime time football. Just ask these guys.
You better recognize the real.
Except no substitutes. Pro football returns this April with the USFL on Fox and NBC.
This is the truck that helps keep families safe, and the truck that helps you get far from home. This is the truck of the outdoors, the early adopters, and the rising generation. This is the one more truck owners are switching to. This is what it means to be a Ram.
Now with 2.9% financing for 72 months, get an average $10,207 in finance savings on our most popular models.
Home internet, what a pain in the... Hey, neighbor!
Try T-Mobile, it sets up so fast.
It's like Wi-Fi that runs on 5G. Home internet from T-Mobile?
Wait till you see.
Tell me more, tell me more.
One cord's all that you need.
Tell me more, tell me more.
Don't you worry about speed.
It's called the birthplace of speed. Back then, it was the hard-packed sand that allowed for records to be broken. Today, it's the high banks and long straightaways. Not to mention, it's the dream of every driver and fan, offering a moment of glory that will extend well beyond 500 miles for years to come. We're still talking about the first one, and guarantee we'll be talking about this one. Here's to the great American race that can only be the Daytona 500.
Can I borrow your pen? Thank you.
Is there anything better than the sound of 3 races breathing life into a new NASCAR season? Get your tickets now at PhoenixRaceway.com.
Long Bill is the world's most famous beach and the world's center of racing. Single file, a 19-car draft, everyone but Connor Daly and B.J. McLeod, who's gone a lap down. 3 Chevys, then 2 Fords, then a couple of Chevys. And Regan, of those 3 cars that topped off for fuel right at the end of the caution flag, what say you on going the distance?
Well, Mike, I can tell you there's a lot of smoke rolling out of computers on pit road right now trying to figure out if they can or cannot make it. The one team that I did check with that says we can make it and feel good about it is a 31 of Justin Haley. You see him riding back there well into the pack, saving fuel right now. They feel like they're good to go, and they're going to try to, it sounds like.
All right, now what about the cars that did not stop on the final lap of caution to top off? For example, Kyle Larson.
Let's make sure we go hard here. Go hard and keep your pace up. Don't want anybody to be saving fuel behind us. Let's go hard, keep the pace high.
Yep, smart cat knows exactly what they're trying to do, scheming on them. Let's go hard, push them to make it go farther.
That was crew chief Cliff Daniels. Now, Chase Briscoe is one of those 3 that topped off at the last moment.
Even. Here comes Riley. Still even.
Well, that's not going to save you any fuel.
No, and I'm not really sure why he's trying to get around Pastrana right there, but
I think he's in concern of losing the draft.
Tomorrow night, the trucks have their turn at the 2.5-mile trioval here in Daytona. Opening round of the newly renamed NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. 7:30 Eastern on FS1. Chase Elliott's going to be in that truck race, and Travis Pastrana. .26 to go. Chevys. Kyle Busch, Daniel Suarez, Kyle Larson. Single file. Then 2 Fords, then 2 Chevys, kind of a Noah's Ark procession, then a Ford and a Toyota, a couple more Chevys, and then it's all jumbled up from 11th on back.
You see Austin Cindric, his eyeballs. Look at his eyeballs in that helmet, looking up, looking in that mirror. These are things with no practice or anything else you're working on. You're practicing right here. Single file, easy peasy, but you're watching these guys. You need those mirrors when the time is right.
Denny Hamlin's been trying to get something going here on the high side. He now has Keselowski and Reddick with him.
We're going to make something happen. He's got the right guy behind him. That 6 car can push hard.
Well, Denny's somebody that he's not going to be content just riding this out no matter where he finishes. He wants to learn. I mean, he is super smart with how to run the Daytona 500 with 3 Daytona 500 victories. So he wants to gain as much knowledge on figuring out what does he have to do to move his way forward.
Spot on, Tony. I remember Dale Jr. would run us up at the top of the line. He hated it. He would be the first car to go down and try to make something happen.
Keselowski just gave him the boot right there. And they flushed Tyler Reddick. Lost him from that part of the group. Reddick fell back to 17th. Here's the bump. And run. What is it about these RFK cars, Keselowski and Buescher, that they can be such aggressive pushers? We saw it here last year when they won both their duels. We're seeing it again out of those two.
Well, it's definitely a feather in their hat when you go to the big race on Sunday, but you have to be careful with it. We saw Brad Keselowski. He was pushing hard, finally pushed one too many times and wrecked him. Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
All right, let's check in on the open cars once again. Austin Hill in 15th in this Beard Motorsports 62, little small team, one full-time employee, but he has won here in trucks and in the Xfinity Series, and he is right now positioned to race his way in. He's ahead of Travis Pastrana, who would get in on time, and Connor Daly has gone one lap down.
Pretty good hot rod, though. That's an alliance with RCR. That doesn't surprise me to see some speed for Austin Hill.
Noah Gragson timed in that car last year. Brendan Gaughan drove it previously. Here is Gragson, sitting in 11th place, the only Chevy with 2 Toyotas in front of him and 2 Fords right behind.
Still 2 off you. He's still dragging.
That's Truex and Hamlin, those 2 Toyotas. You wouldn't call them linked together, not with that kind of gap.
Saw Whitney's on the side of Noah Gregson's car. Awesome activation in the infield of Daytona. Tony, I think I saw you over there for lunch, huh?
I did have lunch. You were eyeing it up, though.
Man, it looked good.
Burger Wars in NASCAR could be fun. Hey, Corey LaJoie up in 7th. Might be a sleeper pick for the Daytona 500. Runs well here at Daytona and Talladega in that number 7.
Listen to Corey LaJoie's interview on XM driving down here in the bus. I liked what he had to say. Needs to clean up the mistakes. Some of them were on him. Had some DNFs. They can clean those up. Look at this.
What's up with Chase Elliott?
Chase Elliott's in trouble, backing up.
Thought I saw a big wiggle out of that car, and it moved him from the bottom of that middle lane, but it really slowed a lot of cars down, made him scramble.
About 2 here. 2 by 2. Quarter off you the 9.
Seems to be okay now.
And we said watching qualifying last night, we were really interested in watching the Hendrick Motorsports cars. Had 3 of them that had really good speed. Chase's was the one that was a little bit off, and we wondered, would that be because he was more interested in the handling of the car for the qualifying races? May have missed it just a little bit.
And here's Daniel Suarez putting the pressure to race leader Kyle Busch. 20 to go. Regan.
Mike, you guys were wondering about the 9 car Chase Elliott in terms of the handling and what that team did. They actually went full out for handling. That's exactly what they wanted in this race car. They said a year ago he did not have the comfort to make the moves in the Daytona 500 he needed to be able to make, and they said coming down here, that was their focus. We saw him check up just a little bit there a few moments ago. Not a word on the radio from Chase Elliott yet.
And that was very
Oh! Kyle Busch in the wall.
One too many times. Very aggressive. Suarez was pushing on the back bumper of Kyle Busch. A lot of cars.
Austin Hill is in it, one of those open cars. And he's got to get going. He's got a lap on Connor Daly, but
might be exactly what
he'll have to get going to make the 500. And things got a little too rowdy there among the first 2.
We kind of saw that coming.
Can't get this car out of the grass. It's going to be big for Austin Hill. Needs to get that car going.
Riley Herbst involved. There's the push. And there's the turn. Caution is out for the 2nd time in duel number 2. Kyle Busch's Chevrolet will be hauled back to the garage. That's Riley Herbst's car, which was caught up in this, and Austin Hill has come to pit road. Look at damage to the right front of Hill's car, trying to race his way into the Daytona 500 or time in. There's Herbst. All right, let's see what happened here.
It's a lot of aggression. Daniel Suarez is pushing on him, moving. You can see the right rear. Those are things that we do with that skew in the rear end. Finally, it was too much. Kyle couldn't hold on to it. Bam, bam, bam. One too many.
That happens at 193 miles an hour.
And here you can see the nose popping out and then back in, and when it does, it just hooks the 8 car.
Yeah, when he got him sideways once, he got down, corrects, moves up, hooks it in the right rear, and turns.
And here comes Keselowski, right-headed straight for Kyle Busch and misses him by inches. Not everybody was so lucky.
And that's not because Daniel's trying to move the 8 car. That's literally, this is a game on the restrictor plate track of inches of guys, just one car a couple inches one direction and one the opposite.
Austin Hill, big hit for him.
This will be an important race off pit road.
And boy, were they racing. Brad Keselowski was clear out in the grass, 3 wide.
Now, you saw Suarez miss his pit stall. There's the board out, and he slides right through.
And I guarantee you that crew chief's saying, don't slide those tires.
Look at this. This is the 3 wide I was talking about. Drove right around him. Interesting. Did he keep his pit road speed?
Now, Austin Hill trying to race his way in. He's told the team the right front suspension is badly hurt as that car is parked on pit road. Not sure if they can get him fixed. Well, he's rolling.
Yeah, it's not.
Second caution flag of Duel 2 as Daniel Suarez got into the back of Kyle Busch.
After the duels at Daytona, we've got Pac-12 hoops after dark in Los Angeles. Drew Peterson, Boogie Ellis, and the USC Trojans squarely on the NCAA tournament bubble. They take on Cal next on FS1.
Still cleaning up from this caution with 16 laps to go. So while they work on the track, here's a preview of NASCAR's 75th anniversary celebration.
Today in this room, we created NASCAR. Imagine where we will be in 75 years.
This season, we celebrate the diamond anniversary of NASCAR through the eyes of legends.
I was literally able to learn from the best. So it's among the greatest finishes of NASCAR's 75 years.
This has been a lifelong dream to see it back on the Cup schedule.
You're finally going to get it, buddy. It's the greatest sport in the world right here, buddy. Greatest sport in the world.
Working caution, 1 lap to go. We'll go back to green. And Austin Hill in the Beard Motorsports number 62 is being pushed to the garage. He got turned by Travis Pastrana. Pastrana's car is out of the race. Pastrana will make it in on time. And as Hill retires, Connor Daly, who could not make a qualifying lap last night, who had trouble getting up to speed when they rolled off for this race tonight.
He called it a once-in-a-million chance.
He's going to be in the Daytona 500. Not everybody is so happy. Jamie.
Well, Kyle Busch led 28 laps there, was leading when the contact happened. Kyle, what'd you feel from behind there?
Just a lot of pushing and shoving, a few laps straight there, just doing everything you can to try to hang on and do the best you can to make sure that you keep it straight. And just finally overloaded the left rear and hooked it to the right. So hate it for all my guys, and you know, building a fast Chevy Camaro was really fun to drive. Drove great the whole time. I mean, everything was super easy, super simple, but yeah, long ways to go and just don't understand, but is what it is. So thanks to 3G and you know, BetMGM, Lenovo, again Chevy, we'll guys have a lot of work to do, unfortunately. Hate it for them, and we'll be back Sunday.
Kyle Busch and his new team showed a lot of speed tonight. See what they can do on Sunday, Mike.
Before he climbed out of the car in frustration, he keyed the radio and told his crew that was a Daytona 500 winning car.
Well, you can see the frustration. I mean, that's enough to make you sick. You know, I mean, we saw the speed in it. Drove right to the front, put it in position. We'll see if they can pull a backup car out and make it do it.
It'll be 14 laps to go. Kyle Larson on the outside, Eric Almirola on the inside. Keselowski and Cindric, 2 Fords. Gilliland up for 5th. Truex 6th. LaJoie, Gregson, Hamlin, and Reddick the top 10.
Austin Cindric did an amazing job of really hooking up to Kyle Larson here, but they got separated.
You're going to see more big time push in that 6 car. There it is. Wiggle. Almirola. Truex getting in the game. Oh, whoa, look out. Told you.
Gee.
Keselowski. That could have been big.
That was a big save. Almirola was way out of shape. Kept it underneath of him. Saved the day for 2 or 3 of those boys.
Regan, how about our leaders?
Mike, both the leader of number 5 of Kyle Larson and Eric Almirola under that caution had lengthy conversations with their teams about which cars could give them the push, which cars they liked taking a push from. The one thing they determined is that they liked having, for in Kyle Larson's case, the 10 of Eric Almirola behind him. He said that car pushes way better and is a way smoother push, but both of these guys complaining about all the rest of the cars.
He just can't keep him behind him. That's the problem.
Well, Keselowski gives Larson a boot into turn 3. And he's out in front by himself with the 2 Fords side by side, 2nd and 3rd.
Knowing that, Tony, will he move up, or you think he's going to ride this bottom out? Will he move up and get in front of the car that he wants?
I think you said it earlier. I think that's the spot you probably feel most comfortable in right now.
Clint, I don't think, since Larson has nothing to gain here, why would he move up and risk a collision? Right where he is, I mean, that's the spot to be in. Protect your front row starting spot for Sunday.
It's the safest place, in my opinion, for sure. But that 6 car, you already saw him get the 10 jacked up. Now he's doing the same thing to the 5.
I would be nervous seeing that 6 car in my mirror right now.
That would be the only thing that would move me off the bottom. It's just you knew that aggression on that bottom getting stacked up. We just watched. That's where the wreck came from.
And Brad turned loose of him there, and that gave that outside line a lot of momentum there.
Almirola comes down to cover the spot. 11 laps to go.
Tight. Half in front, no within tight.
I'm surprised how hard these guys are able to push on one another. You can ride along with Denny. Listen to how far he's lifting out of the gas and keep him running over Gregson in front of him.
You saw Denny pushing there, but he just never locks up. He just gives that nudge to give that car momentum ahead of him.
You know, we heard the approach from Chase Elliott. And we're going to try to go after some handling and his teammates sitting on the front row with all that speed. It'll be interesting to get it. I would love to be a fly on the wall of the meeting and see, does this plan work out? Do we need to try to implement some more speed in there? Is that an option? Those are all things these guys are weighing out.
Or is he happy with the handling and he doesn't have the speed, or is the handling just off enough that keeps him from being aggressive to try to make moves?
Like I said, I want to be a fly on the wall.
You don't have the patience to be on the fly on the wall that long.
On there, I promise.
Well, Kyle Larson has shown he's got both. He's got speed, he's got handling. He has been a top 3 car most of this race.
But again, the flip side of that 48 couldn't have got out of there fast enough. I think he knew where they were at handling wise.
Still tied out front, even second all the way back. Still got the 42, 11, 45 in line with us.
8.5 laps to go. This is like a vise that keeps tightening.
I agree. I feel like if I had a heart rate monitor, mine's going up every lap that we're getting closer to the end of this, because you just see that the intensity just keeps building lap after lap.
Ooh, Todd Gilliland a little out of shape there with Corey LaJoie. And now things settle down just enough that we can go to Jamie.
Well, the bad news is Travis Pastrana crashed out of this one, but the good news is you're still in the big show on Sunday. Travis, what do you take away from your experience here tonight?
You know, learned a lot about where the car works. I think we'll still be able to run that same car. I just didn't get it slowed down quite in time to avoid the chaos in front of me. But, you know, we were just kind of running in the back, just watching everything that was happening, you know, seeing which lanes worked, how they worked, where my car worked best. And, dude, it was a lot of fun. It was super intense first couple laps. You don't realize what you can't see. On television, it always seems like you can see everything, but you're following the car in front of you, and you're kind of trying to pay attention to what's around you for where the corners are coming, and you follow those big Sunoco signs and just kind of turn left when you see them. So, no, it was a great time. I just a little bit of damage, but unfortunately, hopefully we won't be in the care center anymore this week. And even on the truck, we had a flat going around, so I already had some drifts. Hopefully bad luck's out of the way, and we have some fun the rest of the week.
I love it. I don't think I've ever seen a Sunoco sign on a racetrack. Have you, Tony?
I'm like, there's a Sunoco sign around here?
I love it.
Yeah, there's.
But it's so impressive to watch how he processes information. I mean, this is a guy, I watched him drive a top fuel dragster at the end of the season last year, had never even been to a drag race, let alone sat in a car. And he learned and picked it up really quick. He just has the ability to, whatever he does, as much as he just seems like he's hyper and so high energy all the time, he's super good at processing information of what he sees, what he learns, and I guarantee what he learned today will help him on Sunday.
Eric Almirola, one car length out in front of this field. A driver who came within a mile of winning the Daytona 500 a few years ago. But he's always been strong on these big tracks.
And I honestly don't even know what makes him so good, but he is very good. I think he's very good at analyzing where to be, when to move. He just has the patience to be good here.
Well, you said when to move. It's time. 6 to go. You see action picking up on this racetrack. Both lines are getting way more aggressive. It's go time, baby.
I really thought I'd see Austin Cindric peel down to the bottom there and just waited too long.
Well, up top, Cindric and Todd Gilliland, both of them were rookies last year.
I think he likes that push. Todd Gilliland is really on his back bumper well. Smooth pushes. You see that outside line. I think Austin Cindric's in a good spot.
Come to 7 to the 38. 38's coming to you. Still inside.
12-car lead draft. 2x2, 6 rows deep.
Big
5 to go.
4x4 on each other's bumper.
Is this what we're going to see on Sunday?
Yes, a lot more of it too. And it's always, I mean, this place is magical because of these moments. It breeds these moments at the end of these races. Doesn't matter how long they ride around, eventually they're going to find one another, and that's when that pay window opens up.
Cindric and Gilliland, the two youngsters up top. 1-2. Almirola working his way back.
Cindric's going to have a decision on his hands. He stayed up.
He's made it, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think
eventually, I think he's going to have to get down there, make that block, but I don't think it's time yet.
I think he's just really happy with his partner right now. I think he's real comfortable with Todd behind him, and I've been watching him when we get the head-on down the backstretch. He pushes really straight. He's very square and centered behind the car.
Now, how far out ahead can you get?
I didn't like that. It's starting to make me nervous. Move down. Got them both down, though. Got that dancing partner down with him. There was that opportunity.
Chevy's on the outside. Corey LaJoie, Chase Elliott, Daniel Suarez. Ford's on the bottom.
I think that's what dictated his move. He got out far enough with that big push of Todd Gilliland, and that enabled both of them to get down. Lining up those Fords, but look out. Big block. That was quick. Look out. Hold on.
Yikes. Corey. Hamlin looking for 3 wide. That's not going to work. Not this time.
Bailed on his dancing partner. Made that block on the outside. Got himself in trouble. He's wishing he didn't make that move.
2 laps to go.
Can he get back there and get another shot? It's 2 cars fast.
Todd Gilliland. His granddad was a champion of Winston West. His dad had been a pole sitter here for the Daytona 500. Second-year driver with a shot to win his qualifying race for the, and we're in a second-row spot in the 500.
Corey LaJoie with a big push to Austin Cindric on the outside.
I think Almirola's chance. He's looking in the mirror, listening for them move up. There it is. That's exactly what I thought he was going to do.
White flag.
Didn't have
one lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank.
He made the move, but the momentum wasn't quite there yet.
There wasn't.
I think that's a right move, but the energy wasn't quite developed.
Straight slow by 10.
2 Fords on the outside. Ford Chevy on the bottom, and Gilliland got loose after a bump from Larson.
Keep coming. Your help's coming. The 11.
Kyle Larson better go give him a hug and a kiss on the cheek after this. That saved his front row stop.
Everybody gets squared away.
This isn't over yet.
No. Almirola way out in front of Cindric, who's going to have a chance here.
Need his back up.
Does he take it?
Yes, I think he is right now.
I think he just stays in the gas. You don't really have a choice. You can't take a chance on trying to back up to him at this point.
Off turn 4 to the line. Almirola making bacon.
How about that?
Oh, man.
How about that save from Todd Gilliland? That saved him and a whole lot of other cars. Wow.
Incredible save for Gilliland, who ends up 7th, while Almirola gets his 2nd career dual win.
How about Connor Daly? Literally said last night it's a 1 in a million chance. And I agree with you. Unbelievable. How about you, boys?
The Floyd Mayweather money team has done it. They're in the Daytona 500.
The old saying of a chip in a chair.
And a heartbreak for Austin Hill. He's doing everything he had to do to make this Daytona 500. Just wasn't his night.
Eric Almirola had ordered the rocking chair. He was going to retire from Cup racing. I've talked back into the seat, multi-year deal, and he just scored the 4th dual win for Stewart Haas Racing.
He's been so close to winning this big race. Might just be his year.
And it all happened because of this. Watch that 38.
Watch the push from the 6 into the 5. Here comes that energy. Huge push. Gets him sideways once. And he rode this thing all the way off into the corner. Finally gets into him one more time. And man, broke him loose.
He got a little bit of a wiggle that took him down to the yellow lines. And when it came back up, that gave Kyle Larson just enough of a bump to, and not intentionally, but just enough here. You watch it, turns him to the left there a little bit. And when it comes up, he has no choice but to.
How do you
that's a heck of a save, though.
I mean, I can promise you, just like I said, Kyle Larson couldn't believe he saved it. He thought he was going to end up right in his lap.
Look, you go from the 33-degree banking down to the flat.
We saw that with Kyle Busch a few years ago. Same sparks flying and everything else, but hats off to that kid. That's a heck of a save.
Ford has won the last 4 dual races and 9 of the last 12. They get a 1-2 finish from Almirola and Cindric, with Chase Elliott 3rd, Brad Keselowski 4th, and Corey LaJoie 5th.
Connor Daly's mom, loving it.
A wing and a prayer.
Worked.
And they're in the 500. Eric Almirola turns 39 in less than a month. He has his 2nd career dual win in his 14th try, and he has won this race now in 2 of the last 3 years. Mark that one down as a big threat for Sunday.
I agree. Great drafter, puts himself in good places, smart on these type of racetracks. That's what it takes. I saw him earlier. I walked over in his bus, asked him a few questions. He had a chiropractor over there. Says had a crook in his neck. Bet the old neck feels fine now. What do you think?
I think he's going to be happy about this. I mean, he just had a very comfortable car, and you could see it in his driving style.
Regan?
Well, Eric Almirola, you give thumbs up to the fans. You won this race 2 years ago. You just did it again tonight. Had your hands full, though. It looked like a lot of work for you in that race car.
Yeah, I did have my hands full. Drew said this Smithfield Ford Mustang was going to be fast, but he said I'd probably have my hands full. We kind of went for it in qualifying, put all the speed in the car and kind of sacrificed some handling. And as you could see tonight, it was a handful, but man, this is so cool. Daytona is such a special place to me. I grew up sitting in those grandstands, dreaming about racing here. So I want that one on Sunday, though. My boss up in the booth during that first duel, he said, I've won this race 3 times, but yet to do it on Sunday. So I know Sunday's the big one. We're going to keep focused on that when the job's not finished. But just really proud, so thankful. I'm not even supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be retired. So this is awesome. Thank you, Shane, and everybody back at Smithfield headquarters. Ford, Doug Yates. Doug came and told me in the window before the race started I'd meet you in Victory Lane. So I got a date with him. I'll see him in a minute. And Alex he flew down here with the pit crew this morning from school. So he was up on the spotter stand with Joel helping him spot. So I'm waiting for him. He should be coming down any minute. I told him we'd go to Victory Lane. So Alex, where you at, buddy? We're waiting on you.
Eric Almirola wins duel number 2.
Josh?
Wayne, last night, Connor Daly, you said it was a 1 in a million shot that you would make the Daytona 500. You're in. I saw you sit there, look out. What were you thinking at that moment when you got out of the car just now?
Well, we were inherently unlucky for the last 36 hours, but we got lucky. I mean, I wish I could have said that I drove it in on pure pace, but it was crazy. When we went out there, the car was bouncing around. I had no idea what was going on. I thought the drivetrain was broken, and Tony just made it better every time. We got lucky with the yellows to try to get some experience, but like, it is pretty crazy. I mean, this race, I've watched it for so many years, and so much crazy stuff can happen, and thankfully we were on the right side of the craziness. It's pretty amazing.
Congratulations, Connor.
Thank you.
Tony Eury Jr., the crew chief. Yep, they got it to work, and he toughed it out.
Still looking
made the 500. We'll be back with more. Eric Almirola joins Joey Logano as Ford sweeps the blue-green duel at Daytona.
He might still actually be waiting for his son, Alex, to come down and then take the trip to Victory Lane. But he's going to celebrate this one anyways because he is the winner of duel number 2 in Daytona. It was such a day for Ford. Take a look. You got Joey Logano winning duel number 1, and then, of course, Eric Almirola winning duel number 2. Yesterday was all about the Chevys. Today is all about the Fords. We're going to see how that translates to the big race on Sunday. But, of course, we have officially set the lineup for the Daytona 500. Trevor Bayne, Jamie McMurray. I'm Shannon Spake. What did we learn today, boys?
Aggression in the second duel. Way more aggressive, I felt like, compared to what we saw in the first one. And I feel like that's typical, Trevor. When you would sit in your motorhome and watch the first duel, if there wasn't a big wreck, it typically was a little more aggressive in the second, and that's what we saw today.
Oh, there's got to be one in the crowd, Jamie, every time.
Yeah, a couple of casualties in this race today, too. We didn't see it in the earlier race, duel race. Sports' most popular driver finished 3rd. That, of course, is Chase Elliott. He is with Josh Sims.
And Chase Elliott comes home 3rd in duel number 2. How'd you feel about the car tonight, or what more did you need?
Yeah, I feel like we definitely need to be a little better. Our Napa Chevy was it was fast. I feel like I could push really well, but I think everybody can now. So yeah, those last few laps, I mean, I thought Corey and I had a pretty good run going, and then Austin blocked that, and then that kind of stalled the top, and then from there, you know, we got really lucky with whoever had a great save. I don't even know who it was, but somebody had a great save over there because I thought we were all wrecked. But yeah, so good to get back to 3rd there for you know, for pit stall stuff on Sunday, and try to make our car drive a little better and keep the same pace that we have in it. And I think we'll be all right.
Thanks, Jason. Good luck.
Thanks, Josh. You know what I noticed there? I noticed a little bit of a smile on Chase Elliott. And I don't feel like you get that out of him often. I feel like he's always kind of not happy or disappointed. Disappointed. He's happy, but disappointed the way things go. And he seemed a little optimistic there, especially the way qualifying went, because he was that lone Hendrick Motorsports out of the top 3.
Yeah, he's very critical. I mean, he's always going to look back and say, what could I have done different? How could I make it better?
Yeah.
And it makes him a great race car driver because he is always working on getting better. But tonight he talked about being able to push, and we saw those Chevrolets be able to push to an extent until Daniel Suarez found the breaking point there, pushing on Chevy teammate Kyle Busch when he finally turned him. So I think that's what these drivers are trying to figure out right now is how much can I push, how hard can I go until it does turn the guy in front of me.
We got a few more minutes here before we wrap things up. And before we do, we want to get some final thoughts from the guys in the booth, Clint, Tony, and Mike Joy.
Thanks, Shannon. Well, it seemed in both races when a Ford was out front, that draft seemed to work quite a bit better. We did see a lot of aggression, a lot of pushing. Toyota did not lead a lap tonight. Their drivers had trouble, couldn't get to the front.
They haven't paid the big money yet, though.
Well, no.
Exactly. I like the Toyotas looked fine to me. They raced fine, they handled, did a lot of the things that you're going to need to make it 500 miles. You saw what it takes to not make it 500 miles. Too much aggression. These guys are going to have to tame that down. They'll make those adjustments. Their cars will have adjustments on them. They'll get these things handling better for them boys, and they'll be ready to go on Sunday.
And keep in mind, as soon as you put this whole field together, the whole dynamic of this race and what we saw tonight, we're not going to see Sunday. You put this whole field together, it changes the entire game of how this race and the complexion of it handles.
And I heard you say Kyle Busch told his guys, boys, that was a Daytona 500 winning car. Old days used to come down here back in your days. If you wrecked that car in this duel, you were down and out. You were in big trouble. These cars, they're all built kind of the same. I think you're going to see them hot rods be just fine for the Daytona 500 on Sunday.
All right, well, let's look at the starting lineup for Sunday's 65th Daytona 500. Alex Bowman and Kyle Larson earned front row spots last night. Logano and Almirola swept the duels tonight. Chevy's on the front row, Ford's on the second. Christopher Bell's the only Toyota there in the top 10.
Teammate right beside him. Those RFK cars were fast.
A look back through the second 5 rows. There's Harvick in his final Daytona 500. Denny Hamlin, who's won it 3 times.
See some Toyotas there. That's a good pairing.
Rows 11 through 15. A lot of heavy hitters there. Ross Chastain, William Byron, Austin Dillon's a former winner. Reddick with a new ride. And out back, rookies Ty Gibbs, Connor Daly, Kyle Busch, who will be likely in a backup car, 7-time champ Jimmy Johnson, and Travis Pastrana, while Chandler Smith and Austin Hill are the 2 drivers who will be disappointed and head home. As Eric Almirola celebrates, we'll get ready for practice tomorrow, Shannon.
Look forward to seeing you then, and obviously on Sunday, Mike. Thanks a lot. You know, you just heard Tony talk about how the complexity of this race is going to change so much. Obviously, we know the dual races are very different, half the field. What do you expect to see on Sunday?
Well, if you go back to what Chase Elliott said, he talked about everybody being able to push. And if I am a driver right now, and I'm going to go back and talk to my crew chief, I want you to give me some stability in my car, because if you can be the lead car and it be stable and be able to accept all those pushes, that's a really good position to be in. Everybody we saw, whether it was Kyle Busch, Todd Gilliland, whoever it was, the lead car, really squirming when guys would get to them and give them that push. They're pretty aggressive in the duels. When it gets to the Daytona 500, people like Kyle Larson, you will not see them lift. They will drive through the guy in front of them.
Yeah, he's just keeping his fingers crossed, or I guess I should say bless him that he made it out of here. All right, another guy that made it out of here, Austin Cindric, finished second in this race. Jamie Little is with him.
Well, defending Daytona 500 champion Austin Cindric brings it home second there. He said you got all kinds of feels right now, but what kind of indication did you get from your car and how it drafted for Sunday?
Yeah, obviously, I think the theme tonight that every race fan should take away is there are some fast Ford Mustangs all speed weeks in qualifying, race trim. So really proud of that. Proud of everyone at Ford Performance with the changes over the offseason and everybody Roush Yates engine. I sent Doug a text last night at 11 p.m. when we were done with qualifying and told him to give everyone a high five, because that's sometimes hard to be motivated when you feel like you're down and out at some of these races, and the guys came back with some steam. So pumped about that. Pumped to be able to have a good starting spot for the Daytona 500. I think any experience you can get at the front of the field is important. Get a feel of the car and give us a few things to work on for practice to try and end up there like we did last year. It's a long road ahead.
All right, well, we'll see you Sunday. Thanks, Austin.
Thanks, Shannon. Thanks, Jamie. Thanks, Tony. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Shannon. Thanks, Jamie. Thanks, Austin. 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 Thanks
What's his confidence level? I mean, just knowing that you won the race last year and you come in as a defending champ.
Well, I mean, when you win this race, Jamie, you know it's hard to back it up, but he's showing a lot of speed already, and it sounds like he's doing all the right things. Texting Doug Yates to tell him thank you for a great engine. He knows how to play the game, and he knows what's important here, but Austin Cindric always seems to have this cool, calm, collected confidence, and I see that again in that interview that they just did.
The one thing that, I said I wanted to see in the second duel was like when all three manufacturers could go at it, who had the advantage, and I thought he summed it up right there. It looks like the Fords maybe have the advantage this weekend. They can push. It seems like they can get pushed well. They qualified well. They kind of have everything going for them. If they can get to the end, the Fords are going to be the ones to beat.
Are you worried if you're Kyle Busch? The wreck that you got in, you said the car was so good, but these cars are so similar.
Well, the good thing that he has on his side is they're going to have a little bit of practice. So, no, these cars, RCR will be able to give him a car capable of winning just like they did to start here.
What a night. 2 dual races out there to set the lineup for the Daytona 500. We got a full weekend of racing. Of course, we've got the Truck Series race tomorrow, Xfinity Series race on Saturday, and the 65th running of the Great American Race on Sunday. It was awesome to spend the evening with you all. We will see you this weekend. Cal versus USC Hoops coming up next.